We're so used to seeing him run the ball effectively, but he's got an arm too. A touchdown there for the Mustangs.
From 53 yards out, made it 42-14, and then with not another 37-yard scoring punch right here. Brad Johnson making it happen. Senior saying, wait a minute, let's make this a competitive game.
St. Rita going out on a high note. They fell behind 42-7, and then they had a really nice showing here in the fourth quarter.
Okay, onside kick. That didn't prove to be fruitful to begin. And Brad Johnson trying to make this a competitive game for St. Rita, getting a second scoring strike. But when it's all said and done, the champions, hail from Rochester. They win it 42-28.
And the final stat line, again, just such an impressive day for Clay Bruno. 334 passing yards for the Rockets. More than 400 yards of total offense for this Rochester team that got up and down the field. 10 of 16 on third down. Efficient on the money down in this game today.
Yeah, that red zone offense is just tremendous for Rochester, getting it done in a big-time atmosphere. Congratulations goes out to all those Rocket fans who ventured to the stadium tonight.
Yeah.
Should say this afternoon and morning, and it's been fantastic for them. Great ride, great championship ride.
Yeah, the emotions really overflowing for Derek Leonard after the game. Visibly emotional with his players, and they were the smallest school in the Class 5A playoffs, and they're the champs.
And they get into that new classification by one student. I love that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a stat for the ages. We'll be back with more from NIU. That's right, Husky Stadium, Class 6A state championship game coming up. St. Louis viewers, you keep us locked and loaded. We'll be back.
Well, everything we have is insured with Country Financial. Our home is insured with Country Financial.
Our cars.
All of our cars, all of our recreational vehicles. Our life is insured, and our liability is with Country Financial.
We keep in contact on a pretty regular basis and make sure that everything that they think they've got coverage for, they actually do.
My name is Ed Marshall, and I'm a Local 2 laborer with KS Energy. One of my most memorable moments of high school was my freshman year when my high school won the state championship in football. What I saw from the upperclassmen was the teamwork that it took to win that state championship. Those guys, many of which went on to become Division I football players, some of which went into the pros, they worked together and they showed us younger fellas what it took to achieve their goals by hard work and dedication. When you're a freshman, you're just trying to survive, but with a lot of hard work and dedication, you end up thriving. So that's what I take with me now. From the Lyuna Apprenticeship Program, where guys come in green and who are just trying to survive, with hard work and dedication, they learn to work together as a team, that they can get the job done.
And once again, welcome back to Husky Stadium. Tell you what, it's a championship Saturday here, and it's going to be a phenomenal atmosphere, no doubt about that, with the Class 6A state championship coming up. Tony Cornish Jr. joined by Dan Cohen on a blustery day here at the stadium, but we're having fun.
Yeah, and we've got a great day of football coming up. One game down, 3 to go, and the winds and the rains aren't going to affect anybody today, and we had some great football yesterday as well.
No doubt about that. Central A&M falling against Lena Winslow 58-20 in that Class 1A state championship game. Nashville also falling to Newman Central Catholic 35-14 in Class 2A.
Some impressive performances in these first two games. Sean Armiston for Lena Winslow with 6 total touchdowns scored. Connor McBride for Newman. He had a heck of a day yesterday for the Comets as they win their first championship since 2013. The Panthers, four-time Class 1A state champions this decade. A 14-0 season for them in 1A.
No doubt about that. In Class 3A, that was my favorite game of the day. Williamsville winning 46-42 against those Tigers from Byron. Congratulations goes out to both those teams on what I thought was a phenomenal showing. Offensively, defensively, you had everything in that ball game. What a state championship game to remember.
More than 1,000 yards of total offense in that 3A championship game. 4 times they punted. That's it.
That's it. The numbers were phenomenal.
Yeah, they were amazing. An eye-popping final in Class 3A. Congratulations to the Bullets of Williamsville. And then Class 4A. All Richmond Burton in that one against Murfreesboro, 50-14. The Rockets win the Class 4A state championship.
An emotional victory for Richmond Burton and their coaching staff as well. Meanwhile, moving on in Class 5A, game just completed here. Rochester winning against St. Rita, first state championship for Rochester, and the new classification, Class 5A. Of course, they were dominant as well in Class 4A.
Yeah, and Clay Bruno and Hank Beatty put on a show for these Rockets fans who made the trip to NIU. 42-7. This game was St. Rita. Respectable fourth quarter, getting back into this game to make it a 2-score final. But again, the Rockets are now 8-time state champions, 7 in 4A, and now 1 in 5A.
And the game coming up in Class 6A, East St. Louis. A lot of people think this is the top team, regardless of classification, in the entire state, going up against Prairie Ridge. What a game it should be, and I'm waiting for this one.
Yeah, the offensive strategies in this game is going to be a really interesting plot line moving forward in Class 6A. That triple option of Prairie Ridge against that spread it out, get down the field in a hurry from East St. Louis. This is going to be a fun one in 6A coming up soon.
Now, Dan, they tell me in this matchup we're going to see a lot of Division I talent on the field.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of Division I prospects in that Class 6A game and in Class 7A as well. Nazareth Academy going up against Mount Carmel, and the big storyline in that one, Jordan Lynch back at his old collegiate stadium coaching Mount Carmel, his high school alma mater. A couple of 13-0 teams in Class 7A, and in Class 8A as well, a couple of undefeated teams.
And meanwhile, Class 8A championship later this evening, Lincoln Way East going up against Warren Township. Those are two teams that are both 13-0.
That's going to be a defensive slugfest, or it could be another high-scoring game. But with those two defenses from Lincoln Way East and Warren, neither team has allowed more than 100 combined points all season. Warren has allowed 40 points all year. That's it. So, again, we could have a high-scoring shootout or a 7-3 defensive knockout. So it should be really fun coming up here throughout the rest of the day as the winds continue to pick up. But we saw in Class 5A, they got up and down the field, and the wind didn't bother anybody, and we should have another great 3 games of football here.
It'll be fun to watch regardless. We hope you keep us locked and loaded right here. And you know what? You love high school football. Don't touch that remote. We've got more great insight, more analysis, and championship football coming up in just a few moments.
The IHSA is motivation, effort, innovation, emotion, community. The future plays here, the Illinois High School Association. The IHSA is success, teamwork, overcoming adversity, dedication, tradition. The future plays here, the Illinois High School Association.
And once again, welcome back to Husky Stadium right here on the beautiful campus of Northern Illinois University in DeKalb on a great day, but a fantastic day for high school football as we have the Class 6A state championship game on the way in about 10 minutes, Dave.
Yeah, Prairie Ridge and East St. Louis, it's going to be a great chess match between two very different offenses. East St. Louis likes to spread the field. Prairie Ridge runs that triple option as well as anyone in the state of Illinois. So it'll be interesting to see how these two defenses go up against offenses they don't see all that much.
And will East St. Louis be slowed down by these weather conditions? They got to hold on to that football. It's wet out there. It's slick. Wind conditions will play a factor in the passing game. So a little bit of a chess match, I think, will intercede once play gets on underway on the turf.
And you mentioned just a few minutes ago how many Division I prospects are on East St. Louis' side of the field. We've got kids going to Texas A&M, Missouri. They're going to get to put
Power 5, baby.
Yeah, all Power 5 schools. So they're going to get to put their skills to the test again in these difficult weather conditions. It's going to be on the coaching staff to see if the weather starts to affect their offense. How are they going to make adjustments and go deeper into their playbook if the weather starts to play a factor as we go along here?
Can you put your player in the right position to be successful
Correct.
in a state title game? That will be the key on this championship Saturday here at NIU. It's been a great day of football so far. If you're just tuning in, we ask that you stay locked in. We've got an entire afternoon of action coming your way right here from Husky Stadium. It's going to be fantastic. Dan Cohen will be on the sidelines. I'll be up here in the perch, keeping you up to date. And, of course, we have some fantastic gentlemen waiting to talk to you up in the broadcast booth. But we'll be back after a short break. Don't go away.
There's no limit to what you'll do for her. You want her to explore, to dream, to grow. You're always amazed at what her little mind creates and where the depths of her imagination take her. At OSF Healthcare Children's Hospital of Illinois, they explore the boundaries of healthcare. They dream beyond today to care for the tiniest of babies and the most complex illnesses. OSF Children's Hospital, creating a world where kids can grow without limits.
Start your new year off with a new career with NECA IBEW. Earn as you learn as an apprentice in the electrical industry. NECA IBEW is now accepting applications from 9 to 4 on December 2nd through 7th. Each applicant will be interviewed prior to hire. As an electrical apprentice, you'll be highly paid, receive benefits, and get hands-on training in our 23,000 square foot training facility in Bartonville.
NECA IBEW has one of the best healthcare and pension plans in the industry. Your future starts here.
Apply now for this electrical apprenticeship.
Dig the pig. Dig the pig from Butcher's Pizza. Locally made with the finest ingredients. The frozen pizza with the just made taste. The quality pizza that your family deserves. A quick meal you'll be proud to serve. Dig the pig. Dig the pig from Butcher's Pizza.
Deciding which colleges to consider and ultimately which college to attend can be overwhelming for both students and parents. We understand. When my kids are ready for college, I know what I'll be looking for. A safe environment, a caring community, a lively campus culture, and opportunities to succeed so they can love their college years and all the years that come after. So if your wish list is anything like mine, I invite you to come visit us at Illinois State. If you have questions you really want to ask, let's talk.
Today they compete with one goal: to be champions. This is where history is made. This is the 46th annual IHSA Football State Championships. Live from Northern Illinois University Husky Stadium, this is an IHSA Television Network production.
The 6A state title on the line here this afternoon as Prairie Ridge goes for their third state championship in the last 4 years, and they take on top-ranked East St. Louis. The Flyers coming into this ball game undefeated. A lot of folks think maybe they're not just the best team in 6A, but maybe the best team in the state overall. The Flyers, as good as the Rochester offense is that we just saw, East St. Louis might be even a little bit better. There's Division I future athletes all over this squad.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is probably the first ball game where that mascot terminology really came to fruition. They are the Flyers. There's absolutely no doubt about that. They've got great athletes all over the field. And what's going to have to happen is Prairie Ridge is going to have to hang on to the football and just milk that clock like they're a Swiss watch.
Prairie Ridge coming into the ball game, of course, they won 3 of the last 4 state championships. and they lost one of their better players, Evans, to an injury. So they're coming in a little bit undermanned, but a team that's been able to do just that to teams, milk the clock, take care of the football, and that wishbone offense is tough to her. The double wing is tough to defend.
Well, it really is, and Chris Schimpf has done a great job with that offense, and they're from a tough conference. They play Cary Grove, which is always down in this game, so it's Prairie Ridge and Cary Grove back and forth. But you're right, there's no doubt about it. They have to control the clock. Special teams are going to be very important because you really have to keep the ball away from the Flyers. I really think if you saw a lot of action with the Rochester Rockets, you're going to see a lot of action with the Flyers from St. Louis.
A lot of tradition in this ball game. Prairie Ridge taking on the East St. Louis Flyers, the #1 team in the state. We'll have the kickoff for the 6A state championship coming up from DeKalb.
IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you by Country Financial. Preparing your financial future doesn't have to be complicated. Take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. Busey Bank. Busey, your dream, our promise.
Well, everything we have is insured with Country Financial. Our home is insured with Country Financial.
Our cars.
All of our cars, all of our recreational vehicles. Our life is insured, and our liability is with Country Financial.
We keep in contact on a pretty regular basis and make sure that everything that they think they've got coverage for, they actually do.
At Busey, our story centers around you, your goals, and your dreams. You dreamed of owning your first home. You partnered with us to customize a plan. You started a business. You trusted us to guide you through the ups and downs. You wanted to leave a legacy. You allowed us to bring your dreams to life. Thank you for partnering with us to make tomorrow's dreams today's reality. Busey, your dream, our promise.
We are just moments away from kickoff. East St. Louis and Prairie Ridge for the 6A state title. Let's go downstairs to Dan Cohen.
The chess match in this game is going to be fascinating, guys, on offense. East St. Louis loves to get up and down the field. They basically can throw to a 4x4 relay team with the speed that they have. And now they're facing a Prairie Ridge team that runs the triple option as well as anyone in the state of Illinois. Going to be a fascinating matchup between two state-worthy teams that are here in DeKalb. It's going to be a great one here in Class 6A after a high-scoring game in Class 5A to start the day at NIU. Back up to you guys.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot. Luckily, we have Jack McInerney, the Hall of Famer, here to kind of keep an eye on that chess match and tell us what exactly is going on. I'm looking forward to this. We see these matchups all the time, Jack. The spread offenses against the old school, the wishbone, the wing tee, the double wing, whatever, what have you, the option teams. And it's fascinating to see those teams go against each other and match up and how they work things out during the game.
Well, it's like having two master chess players against each other, because really at this point, the skill level that East St. Louis has, as you mentioned in the open, is second to none in the state of Illinois, and probably is some small Division I schools. But the key is going to be field position for Prairie Ridge and their special teams. And again, defensively, the matchups are going to be pretty tough for Prairie Ridge, so that's why they want to keep their offense on the field. And first down will be critical also for Prairie Ridge. first down because they're going to have to pick up 4 or 5 yards to keep drives alive.
East St. Louis will get the opening kick. Jalen Reed and Jermiante Burgess back for the Flyers.
There's lightning in a bottle down there.
Jackson Reitz will kick it away. The Wolves 12-1. East St. Louis 13-0. Big hop there. And it's Burgess with it. He's brought down at the 24-yard line.
Smart play right off the bat by Prairie Ridge, not giving a good high kick where they can set up their return for those very explosive receivers back there in the kickoff team. So when you run a kickoff like that where you punch the ball through there, it's almost impossible to set up any kind of a return because the lineman got to worry about handling a football. So a good start there for for Prairie Ridge.
East St. Louis out of the Southwestern Conference, averaging over 51 points per game. Their starting quarterback in the shotgun is Tyler Macon. Little play action, and that pass incomplete. Tipped there in the backfield by Marco Mancini of Prairie Ridge.
Good job here by the linebackers. You can see right here he's getting up underneath it. Coverage coming over the top, but that's some of the things that you got to do. Give them different looks, make it tougher for them to read what particular defense you're in, because they like to run the RPO, which is the run pass option look. They'll determine at the line of scrimmage what they're going to do, run the ball or throw the ball.
Check that. That was Tyler Crawford making that leaping play there for Prairie Ridge. Second down now for the Flyers. The give is to DeMonte Witherspoon, their leading rusher. He has a first down and more, pickup of 12 for Witherspoon. 1,649 yards, 33 touchdowns coming into today's ball game.
And he's been a 3-year starter, and actually this is the first year that he's been 100%. For the first 2 years, he actually had a bad ankle. He was never really 100% in all those games because he kept trying to play, and it never did heal that well.
From their own 36. Handoff to Witherspoon again. He's got another first down. Still on his feet. Racing down the sideline. One man to beat. And finally forced out of bounds at the 22-yard line.
This is just really a good job on the counter coming back, and he pops it outside. Little leg strength right there and a good angle by the safety, but watch the move to the outside, which he makes on the full run. This is something you can't teach running backs. A lot of times backs want to come to a stop to make a cut, but the really good ones make all their moves going full speed up the field.
Witherspoon, 42 yards on that carry, 5'11", 210-pound senior. Macon with the pass attempt. Lawan Powell Jr. number 1 was the intended receiver. Be second down for the Flyers.
There's a lot of teams that cannot afford to give up a play on first down. What I mean by that is they cannot afford to have a loss or no yardage whatsoever on first down. But when you have an offense as explosive as East St. Louis, they can afford that because they can pick up big chunks of yardage throughout the game.
East St. Louis ranked 23rd in the USA Today Super 25 nationally. Second and 10 now. Give is to Witherspoon. Tries to sidestep his way, but the Prairie Ridge defense, only allowing 10 points per game, meets him at the line of scrimmage.
This is a good job here. Watch number 76, folks, pulling right there. That big guy, number 76. He's out in front of the running back. Number 76 is 6'4", 310 pounds. And he's out in front of the running back pulling. So that gives you an idea. And he's a freshman. Excuse me. Now he's a senior, but they have 2 other freshman starters.
That's Javontes Spraggins. He is signed with the University of Tennessee. Macon looking downfield. Nobody's open. He's going to take it himself around the left side and out at the 10-yard line. Pickup of 12. Tyler Macon has thrown for 3,900 plus yards and run for 723. There is a flag on the play.
Well, it took so long. It was good coverage downfield by Prairie Ridge. Good shot of the officials right here.
Third play, holding. Offense, number 71, 10-yard, spotted the foul. Replay, third down.
Now, we've talked about some big offensive lines throughout high school, and they're getting bigger, but I don't think there's ever been an offensive line right now. The front five for East St. Louis averages 294 pounds.
Third down and long, and another flag. And that one's going to go against East St. Louis.
Prior to snap. False start. Offense. 76. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Spraggins on the false start. He was a member of that 2016 title team as a freshman.
Yeah, they have two freshmen on the left side of the line. McVeigh is 6'5", 320, a freshman. And the other lineman is 6'4", 320, or 300, a freshman.
Third and 24. Macon's going to try it again. Second verse, same as the first. He's down inside the 20 on the keeper.
This is one of those scenarios where you're almost darn if you do and darn if you don't, where good coverage downfield forces him to scramble. Well, he's not the kind of guy you want to have scrambling. So you can have great coverage down the field, and all of a sudden he can make a great play with his feet and keep plays alive.
Pickup of 19 for the All-State quarterback, Tyler Macon, 6 foot, 195-pound junior.
He's got all kinds of offers from Illinois, Iowa State, Missouri, Indiana. He started last year for East St. Louis.
Darren Sunkett forced to take a timeout as the play clock was dwindling down. East St. Louis is the all-time winningest football program in the state of Illinois. 791 wins, 197 losses in their school history. This is their 17th playoff appearance, I should say. Here's their road to state. They beat Morgan Park in round 1, Rock Island in round 2, a 60-0 win in the quarterfinals, and then a win at home over Chatham Glenwood 50-28 last week.
And a note on that Chatham Glenwood, that's the only team that beat Rochester this year. So that kind of gives you an idea how good East St. Louis is.
Ooh, wouldn't that be a fun one to watch? East St. Louis and Rochester. Out to Powell, and he's down inside the 10, marked out at the 7. Pickup of 9 for Macon to Lawan Powell Jr.
Well, Macon just has so much poise sitting in the pocket right there, and you can see that Powell just drags along underneath the linebackers and gets out in the flat and picks up that first down. Not a real big play call, but a real good, efficient play call.
Real nice block and coverage there by the running back Witherspoon, too. He gets the handoff this time, and he's met at the 6-yard line. Kyle Kolblinger, the All-Stater. He's their top running back now because of injury to another player he's had to take over. Carter Evans out. Kolblinger's taken over at running back, and a nice defensive play, too, there by the All-Stater.
That was a good shot of Mancha Witherspoon.
He transferred from Belleville East his freshman year and has been a mainstay ever since. Opening moments, 6A state title game. Macon nowhere to go. Brought down, and it's the guy who made the tip pass play earlier, Tyler Crawford, coming up with the sack.
You can see he's coming right off the edge right now. He came off like a rocket off the edge, and he was going right after Macon because I think they knew that he was going to try and run off the bootleg. Good job right there, and a good look at Tyler Crawford. 6'1", 185-pound junior, been really a stellar performer for the secondary for Prairie Ridge.
Third down now. 10th play of the drive. Making back to throw, pressure coming, and incomplete. Andrew Fryer was putting a lot of pressure on him.
Late flag.
Flag on the play. Pass interference on the Wolves.
Well, Tyler Macon actually threw this pass sidearm.
On the defense.
It's a post
Number
route.
20, they'll be penalized half the distance to the goal.
And you can see that he actually threw it sidearm because of the rush he was getting. So that kind of gives you an idea of what an athlete he is.
This Prairie Ridge defense only allowing 10 points per game. They held Deerfield to -3 yards rushing in the first half of the semifinal. 38 yards total. Third down. Macon on the keep. Dragged down right there at the 5-yard line. Coming up and making the play. Who else? Kyle Koblinger.
Boy, this is a great play by the safeties. Comes flying up. You'll see him coming from the inside out the whole way right there. Good job by the corner sustaining the outside to force him in a little bit. And the safety just flying up, coming up through the lane. Just a good job of an open field tackle and a real big tackle on this particular drive.
Fourth down and goal. Big play here early in the game. East St. Louis trying to get in the end zone.
Psychologically, this would be a big stop here for Prairie Ridge.
Macon out of the shotgun. Under pressure, rolls right. Looking into the end zone. Touchdown strike to Keontez Lewis. 5-yard touchdown strike. That is touchdown number 37 for Tyler Macon. The 10th touchdown catch of the year for Lewis.
And he had pressure coming from the backside. You can see right here, but he has the poise just to deliver the football. And again, once you start a quarterback that has the feet that he has and the running ability, that puts so much pressure on the corners. They take their eyes off of the receivers, and that's exactly what happened right there. The defender took his eyes off to look at the quarterback scrambling, and all of a sudden the receiver was open. Touchdown.
Demarion Cotton on for the point after. It's good. And it's an early 7-0 lead for number 1 East St. Louis. Macon on the rollout finds his man. Flyers up early.
Builders Warehouse moving sales in our final days. Backsplashes starting at $2.50 a square foot. Ceramic tile from 50 cents a square foot. Wood laminate as low as $1 a square foot, and more. Hey, I'd rather sell it than move it.
Western Illinois University is here to serve your future. Large enough to provide opportunities, small enough to connect you to them. Your potential is our purpose. Explore your talents in a place you belong.
Builders Warehouse moving sales in our final days. Backsplashes starting at $2.50 a square foot. Ceramic tile from 50 cents a square foot. Wood laminate as low as $1 a square foot, and more. Hey, I'd rather sell it than move it.
And a celebration early for East St. Louis. They're out to a 7-0 lead over Prairie Ridge here in our 6A state title game. 530 yards a game for the Flyers offense. They pick up 85 on that opening drive. And we saw the athleticism of Tyler Macon at quarterback, scrambling to gain yardage on his own and then scrambling and making a big fourth down play there, Jack.
Well, it's almost unstoppable when you have a quarterback that's so effective throwing the football and running the football, and that's exactly what Tyler Macon does. He just puts so much darn pressure on the secondary, not so much the defensive linemen, but the secondary, because, you know, you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. If you come up to play the run, which he sometimes makes it look like he's going to do, and then you get beat on the pass play like he's showing on the touchdown. So to have an athlete like that as your quarterback is a great attribute.
A short kick brought out of there by Zachary Benson, and it'll be pretty decent field position for the Wolves to start things off here at their own 36-yard line. Wolves average 48 points a game out of the Fox Valley Conference. 6A state champs in 2011, 2016, and 17 under Chris Schrempf, their 18th year head coach.
And he does a great job. He's done great jobs, had great seasons over his 18 years there with 154 wins.
Connor Lydon at quarterback. And here's our first look at the triple option. The give is to Koblinger. And he's out to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 9 on first down. Koblinger only 441 yards on the season. All-State fullback Carter Evans broke his fibula in round 1 against Grayslake North. So he is out. He's a Division I type back with offers from Northern Illinois and Central Michigan. He had 897 yards going into that game. But really, they haven't missed a beat without him.
No, but they moved Koblinger over to fullback to take the spot for Carter Evans, and he's been very efficient like he did against Deerfield with 294 yards.
Lydon looked like he was going to throw. Now scrambles right and does. And it's complete to Ryan Goodshall. So an unlikely throw from Prairie Ridge. Lydon's thrown for 942 yards on the season, coming in, completing 60% of his passes. And he finds a wide open Ryan Goodshall here.
This is a nice job by keeping the play alive by Connor Lydon. And as we mentioned, you know, Tyler Macon is on one side keeping plays alive, and then you got Connor Lydon, who wouldn't be expected in this particular type of offense to keep plays alive, more or less even throwing the ball, and gets a nice pass play by keeping the play alive with his feet, and a big first down for Prairie Ridge.
Pickup of 26. Ball at the 30. Lydon keeps it himself and picks up a couple. Connor Lydon talking about this game. He said, I can't remember our school being this doubted going into a big game. And I think the feeling on the Prairie Ridge sideline all week has been nobody's giving us a chance against East St. Louis.
But you know what? That's pretty obvious, because anybody right now that would be playing East St. Louis based on the hype that they've gotten all year long would be in the same boat. Any team it would be, not necessarily just Prairie Ridge. It just happens to be they're the ones that are playing them this week. Every team would be in the same situation.
One thing to be the favorite, it's another thing to go out on the field and do it. Lydon fakes the handoff, keeps it himself as he gets down to the 26. Let's take a look at the big guys up front.
And they're big.
There's a look at the numbers, and the East St. Louis pounds advantage, as you mentioned, anchoring the line pound to pound. East St. Louis wins the tail of the tape there.
Well, and you look at the matchup of the offensive line of Prairie Ridge, 263 going against the matchup of the defensive line of East St. Louis, which is 260. That's a pretty good physical matchup.
3rd and 6. Here's our first call for Tegan Trost. He gets around the right side. He's going to be very close to a first down and has it down at the 19-yard line. That's a pickup of 7 for Tegan Trost, who's now over 600 yards rushing for the season.
Just an outstanding job right here. You can see number 75 who gets out in front and pulls Riley Smith, a 270-pounder. So that gives you an idea how much these big kids now can run. Riley Smith is 6'2", 270, gets out in front of that. And you would think, in many cases, from a coaching standpoint, when you go up against defensive speed like East St. Louis has, the best way to negate defensive speed is to run right at it. And in that particular case, they ran around it and still picked up some good yardage.
1st and 10, Lydon back to throw. He's got a man wide open in the end zone, and it's a touchdown to Kyle Koblinger coming out of the backfield. Check that. It's Tegan Trost, 19 yards on the score.
What a nice play call here by Chris Shrimp. Little play action, and that freezes again the linebackers and the corner, because they're so used and coached into believing that this is strictly a run team, and they're going to pound it for 4 or 5 yards at a crack. The play action comes up and creates the big play, much like we saw early on yesterday with Lena Winslow. Their first 2 big scores from a run team came on play action pass.
Chris Shrimp calls Tegan Trost instant offense. That is his 17th catch of the year, and he's got 14 touchdowns. Point after is good from Koblinger, who's perfect on extra points this season, 79 of 79.
You can see he kind of hit in the wing spot right there, and I think with the fake, they weren't ready for it, and they got it.
The Wolves tied now with the Flyers.
The NFHS Learning Center is the leader in online education for the interscholastic community. At nfhslearn.com, you can find over 70 courses, including more than 30 free courses, such as concussion in sports, heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest, and protecting students from abuse. To learn more, visit the NFHS Learning Center.
Seven game. Prairie Ridge answers the opening drive by East St. Louis with the pass, no less. I mean, you mentioned Lena Winslow from yesterday, and how about that? The option team throwing the ball in the air. Connor Lydon equal to the task. His 18th touchdown pass of the year.
And the big plays came in that drive on a couple of big pass plays, not only the touchdown.
Right. Another short kick. That's Kenneth Cotton with it. Out across the 40-yard line down to the 42. Let's throw it downstairs to Dan Cohen. Dan.
Guys, this is the place to be right now, is right next to this heater. You can definitely feel the wind down here, as you just saw. Prairie Ridge going right down the field, and the pass out of this triple option has been a lot more effective this year, according to their head coach, and you saw it on that drive. This is a run-heavy team in the past, but you're seeing them go through the air a lot more, and for the guys trying to keep warm, that's what they're doing to keep their hands warm so they can hang on to the ball if they're going to keep going to the air on offense. Back to you guys.
All right, Dan, we will check out East St. Louis now, see how they answer that drive. The give is to Witherspoon. He's hit hard at the 40-yard line.
Prairie Ridge has given them a couple of different looks defensively. You can see right over the top where the linebacker, Matt Laux, slid over to that particular side. What they're doing right now, I think they might see tendencies in East St. Louis's formations that they're taking advantage of. And as the game transpires a little bit more here with some possessions, we'll get a better look at that to see how they juggle maybe the linebackers and secondary based on what formations East St. Louis gives them.
East St. Louis 582 total yards in that semifinal win over Chatham Glenwood. Macon back to throw. Forced out of the pocket, almost lost the football, gets back to the 40-yard line. Fortunate he didn't lose the ball as he juggled it on that scramble.
This is just great discipline by the front of Prairie Ridge. You can see that young man right there that made the play, number 12. He didn't attempt to rush. What his job was to just keep pace on this the line of scrimmage and make sure that he didn't overplay, which gave lanes to the quarterback to run in. So that was just a great job for a young man that didn't even make the tackle.
Josh Crandall, number 7, actually got a hand on the football. That's why Macon had trouble with it. 3rd down and 11. Macon looking left. It's complete. Dominic Lovett brought down short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th down for the Flyers.
Nice job of tackling here by Cole Keiberger. Coming in, you can see he's going right out to the little bubble screen, coming back up inside, and you can see the safety right there. That's an excellent tackle to force East St. Louis to punt the football. And I'm thinking there's a lot of people probably figured that East St. Louis would never have to punt the ball, and who knows, all through the season they haven't had a punt too often.
Dominic Lovett averages 43 yards per punt. This one short on this windy day here in DeKalb and down at the 34-yard line. The Prairie Ridge fans and the team out on the field urging them on. They're kind of feeling it a little bit here. Under 2 minutes to go, 1st quarter, and the Wolves with a chance to go on top here.
Well, after they had that drive and score, and then they stop East St. Louis, naturally they're going to be up a little bit, and psychologically it's great for Prairie Ridge. And you can see right there what they had to do. They only had one tough game, and that was a conference in the playoffs against Cary Grove, who was a perennial competitive team and perennial state champion.
And a team they had beat pretty handily during the regular season. And there's Tegan Trost again, this time on the carry. He just caught that touchdown pass moments ago.
They like to use Trost to get him out on the edge, and you can see again the tackle pulls and creates a lane for him, but he's got the speed that can match up with the corners as long as he can get to the edge. If they keep jamming the fullback, they're going to give that edge up and have some big yardage, because the key to this particular offense is, in many cases, the fullback, how much yardage he can get between the tackles, and that'll force people to stay in, and then all of a sudden you get Trost out on the edge and have big plays.
Dylan Appleton making the play there defensively for the Flyers. Here's the give to Koblinger on his feet and across the 50-yard line for the Wolves.
Now that play looked exactly the same as the play prior to that, except this time they gave it to the fullback. The linebacker, you can see the linebackers, they slid, and here comes the fullback right up the middle. So both plays are kind of congruent with each other to take off the linebackers to make them go outside or inside, and the quarterback reads that.
Wolves back in East St. Louis territory. Connor Lydon with the handoff, and nothing doing that time for Koblinger. He's met right at the line of scrimmage. In on the stop for East St. Louis, Cameron Lovett and Darius Walker. Walker tied for the team lead in tackles.
Now again, in a game like this, it really does come down to the line of scrimmage. It certainly wants to be controlled and won by Prairie Ridge. That's the only way they're going to stay in this game, is to be able to control the line of scrimmage.
Final minute, first quarter, 2nd and 9 now for the Wolves. Lydon with the pitch to Blake Brown around the right side, but nothing there as East St. Louis reads that well.
As soon as that ball was tossed, the corner came flying up, because they knew right away, based on the type of formation that was and with that motion, they had no pass play to go to the backside or weak side. So everybody came to the strong side. A great coaching point right there by East St. Louis in scouting.
Number 56, the linebacker Kendrick Scarborough, chasing down the Wolves runner that time. We played 12 minutes and we are dead even. East St. Louis and Prairie Ridge, a couple of #1 seeds, facing off here for the 6A state title.
Dig the pig. Dig the pig from Butcher's Pizza. Locally made with the finest ingredients. The frozen pizza with the just made taste. The quality pizza that your family deserves. A quick meal you'll be proud to serve. Dig the pig. Dig the pig from Butcher's Pizza.
If you were in an accident, would you know where to go? I'm Ryan Button with Morton Collision Repair. Some insurance companies may try to send you to shops that use junkyard or imitation parts. But at Morton Collision Repair, we focus on you, your car, and your safety. And all of our work is backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Go to MortonCollision.com and upload your photos to start your free estimate. Or tell your agent you want to go to Morton Collision Repair. Remember, it's your car, it's your choice. Choose Morton Collision Repair.
When you're looking for a new or pre-owned travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome, call Pontiac RV before you buy. Pontiac RV is Illinois' largest RV dealer. Our volume buying power and lower overhead means you'll save on major manufacturers like Coachman, Keystone, Forest River, Tiffin Motorhomes, and more. With over 300 RVs in stock, see why people travel from all over the Midwest to Pontiac RV. Call or click PontiacRV.com.
Everything under the sun, Pontiac RV.
Start your new year off with a new career with NECA IBEW. Earn as you learn as an apprentice in the electrical industry. NECA IBEW is now accepting applications from 9 to 4 on December 2nd through 7th. Each applicant will be interviewed prior to hire. As an electrical apprentice, you'll be highly paid, receive benefits, and get hands-on training in our 23,000 square foot training facility in Bartonville.
NECA IBEW has one of the best healthcare and pension plans in the industry. Your future starts here.
Apply now for this electrical apprenticeship.
Lee Hall, Jack McInerney back with you here in DeKalb. 6A state football. Dan Cohen, Tony Cornish along with us. We are tied at 7 as we start the second quarter. 3rd down and 10 for Prairie Ridge. Leiden on a little reverse this time to Trost. He's got the first down as he goes out at the 41-yard line. Tegan Trost, 600 yards on the season. He had a 19-yard touchdown last week in the semifinals.
And you can actually see that he outruns his escort of Riley Smith, his 270-pound tackle that pulled out in front of him. And again, they are really keeping East St. Louis off balance. Now, we talked about how do you what do you do against speed? Well, you run right at it, but the other part of it is you keep it off balance, you make them hesitate, and they've been running counters, they've been running jet sweeps, they've been running the fullback up the middle, they've been play action pass. They've really got an interesting game plan. Here's your play action.
Leiden to throw this time, looking deep into the end zone. The intended receiver was Blake Brown. Well, coming into this week, Chris Schremp has said, you know, we're happy we run the option. They haven't seen it much. Their defense has to play with discipline, and you don't see a lot of this style game down in that southern southwestern part of the state where East St. Louis is.
Exactly, and it's tough in 1 week to replicate what they're going to see and have your scout team run it to any kind of efficiency to make it worthwhile. And that's why even that pass play right there was incomplete. That makes the secondary play a little softer, thinking they might still play action, so I'm not going to come up as fast on the run.
And the option read well that time. Trost brought down that time shy of the line of scrimmage. Jamal Moulton on the stop.
Well, here they try to get out there, but just a good job of the defensive line going flat down the line of scrimmage. They don't try to get a lot of depth. They just go flat down the line of scrimmage because they know they have the speed and then the support coming up from the corner and the safety to fill.
And in adding to that other point about East St. Louis not seeing the triple option very often, Darren Sunkett, the East St. Louis head coach, saying we haven't seen it since 2009 in the playoffs. So something new indeed. Leiden.
Oh, that could be. That would have been a.
That was a lateral.
That was a lateral, no doubt about it. It's a good thing it went out of bounds.
Blake Brown was the intended receiver.
Now they took this completely away from him when he went this. Even that hesitation, he should never have thrown that ball. But you could see how active East St. Louis was on that particular play.
Brings up 4th down. Koblinger will punt. And standing inside his own 10 is Dominic Lovett.
Yeah, good snap here and a good kick. Special teams will be important. It is a good snap.
That wind is deceiving. It looks like a crosswind, but it's really blowing right to left some too.
That's about a 30-40 mile an hour wind. I mean, it's at least a 3-4 club wind.
Oh, jeez. It'd be nice to have at your back, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Preparing for your financial future doesn't have to be complicated. Take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. Good to be with you here today from DeKalb. A 5A state championship already in the books today, as Rochester wins their 8th state championship, their first ever in Class 5A. East St. Louis going for number 9 overall. They've won 8. Prairie Ridge has won 3. Play action wide open to Lovett, and he can't hang on. Dominic Lovett, the number 1 receiver on this team, unable to come up with the catch.
And Ty Baker, the safety, you can see him right at the top of your screen, right there, coming in late and making the play, staying after him instead of giving up on him. And he goes high, which is what you want to do to take those arms out so he can't control the football. Good defensive play right there by Ty Baker, 5'8", 165-pound junior.
Dominic Lovett, 1,400 yards receiving this year. His nickname is Juju. He's got the juju all right. Macon, wide open is Keontez Lewis. That's all the way down to the 42-yard line.
What a cannon.
25 yards on the pickup.
What a cannon Tyler Macon has. Look at that, right on the money. Pretty good catch right there also by Lewis. but he just got inside position on the corner. You can't play, the defensive backs can't play up real tight because of the tremendous speed. And yet again, if they play too soft, they get inside position on him.
Macon back to throw again. His coach says he's the best quarterback in the state. Looking into the end zone for Lewis, and it's overshot just barely. Lewis had beaten his defender, but the throw was too deep.
Yeah, he certainly had him beat, but again, for a quarterback, it's tough to judge the wind. He's thrown with the wind, so that changes his dynamic also. Thrown into the wind, throwing with a real strong wind is tough for a quarterback.
Macon completing 70% of his throws on almost 4,000 yards on the season. Quality and quantity from the senior quarterback. Fakes the give, keeps it himself. He's got the first down and more, bounces it outside to the 20. Inside the 10, Macon takes it all the way for the score. 42 yards, Tyler Macon, the All-Stater, gets the Flyers back on top.
What a great job here of the read. You'll see the fake, and he comes down and takes the dive back, and then just a great job of open field running here by Tyler Macon. He's 6'1". You never know he's 195 pounds because he runs like he's about 170 pounds. And the good thing is he's only a junior.
Yeah, you're correct. I called him a senior. Boy, he's got the poise of a senior and then some, doesn't he?
Well, the thing is, I mean, you can run and throw when you have a young man that this is what he contributes to the offense. Total yardage, he contributes 357 yards a game. 357 yards a game by one player, and over 52 touchdowns this year, both running and throwing the football. But this is just a great athlete with outstanding speed. And the thing is, he's got a cannon for an arm.
And ducked his shoulder going into the end zone there, too. He's
going to show you that he works out in the weight room in the wintertime.
Got a little toughness, too, doesn't he? Tyler Macon, the All-Stater, 42-yard touchdown run. And it's a 14-7 lead for the Flyers. Let's go downstairs to Dan Cohen.
Tegan Trost just got back onto the field. He just had his left knee wrapped. That's something to keep an eye on. And as you said, he's an instant big play, instant offense for this Prairie Ridge team. Just had his left knee wrapped. Something to keep an eye on moving forward as they get the ball back.
Doesn't appear to be any of the worse for wear. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that looks like where he got it banged up. Just right there, you could see how it snapped underneath.
Almost hyperextended.
Yes. Great camera work.
And a little reverse action. The give is to Trost, and he's out to the 29-yard line. Trost and Blake Brown gave it to him, and now he's limping on that knee. He wasn't limping too bad on it as he jogged out. We've already mentioned that they lost their top running back, Carter Evans, earlier in the playoffs in round one. And
yeah, he's done. You can see right there. He's telling the coach it's no way. Got to give him credit for making an effort. And again, this puts the Prairie Ridge under the 8 ball again, losing one of their better running backs. And of course, they lost Carter Evans, their top runner earlier in the season.
Kyle Koblinger gets the give up the middle, still moving, and out to the 36-yard line. A pickup of 7 there. Tegan Trost, yeah, you talk about a loss. Over 600 yards rushing, 523 yards receiving. He had 68 touches on the season coming into this game, meaning 68 total runs and receptions, and 23 touchdowns on those 68 touches.
And you saw how quickly he hit the hole right there. And in this particular offense, that's crucial and that's key. That fullback, if he can hit real quick inside the tackles, and usually it's right between the guard gaps, you can see how close he is to the quarterback. It's a very quick hitting offense.
Koblinger up the middle. He's going to be very close to a first down. Big scrum there. East St. Louis bringing everybody in the plumber on that one.
And that's just a zero dive, which means he's just going right in behind the center, and then he'll bounce back, because usually what they'll do is wedge block much like if they're on the goal line, and that's a pretty good job by the offensive line of Matrone, Pelosi, Schroner, Pearson, and Smith.
Kevon Billingsley, Jira Mays, Darren Tank Perkins, and Teron Scarborough, the defensive line for East St. Louis. A lot of movement down there. Third down and short. And Koblinger's got it and then some, all the way out to the 44-yard line. Pick up a 5 for Koblinger. He got his 4th start at fullback right here today. He was getting reps week 8, so that was Carter Evans got hurt a couple of weeks later, so he was at least in the mix when the injury to Evans came. So it wasn't a huge switch for the Wolves.
It's not a huge switch. You got one of your better running backs still in there, but it is a huge switch for him to go from the wing to fullback, because it's a completely different running scheme as far as the angles he's taken into the line of scrimmage as opposed to when he's coming off the wing.
He gets the give again out near midfield to the 49-yard line. I guess what Coach Shrimp was trying to say was it wasn't a huge adjustment for the team having him as a running back and taking the ball.
Oh, right. As long as they know morale-wise that they still have him in the backfield, that's a big plus. And there's a good shot at Chris Shrimp right there. He's done a fantastic job having one of the top programs in the state of Illinois. And of course, he's been there 18 years with 154 wins. He's got 3 titles under his belt, 2011, 2016, and 2017. So Chris Shrimp does a great job at Prairie Ridge.
2nd and 5 for the Wolves. Gives to Koblinger. He almost got horse collared there at the line of scrimmage and managed to pick up 3 or 4 yards.
Second effort is so darn important. You can see the guard blocking down with the center into a double team, and that's the whole idea. When you run on that double team, you got to hit the line of scrimmage quickly, because that linebacker usually will fill when that guard blocks down, and so that's why the fullback's got to be close and be quick to be able to hit the line of scrimmage like that.
Kevon Billingsley was the one who got a hand on him. 3 out of 4 on 3rd down for Prairie Ridge. Connor Lydon checking the play now. 3rd and a couple. He gives it to Koblinger, the first man through, and he's got the first down.
And again, they lull you to sleep with this. They'll keep running this dive up in here until finally you can see how the linebackers slide over when the wing went in motion. And they're going to slide you down, and then they're going to bounce it outside or play action pass you. So, you know, as much excitement as East St. Louis gives you with their offense, Prairie Ridge gives you the kind of offense where you got to be on your toes, because you really don't know when they're going to hit you with the big one on the edges or downfield with the play action.
Ryan Gutschall goes out to wide receiver spot to the left. Give is to Koblinger again. He kind of skipped over the line there. Gets down inside the 40.
The line of scrimmage is key. You can see how they block down. And all they want to do is get about 3 or 4 yards, and that's crucial, and that's what they had been doing.
Kind of hurdle the lineman there. He's carried every play on this drive as Kyle Koblinger, 5'9", 185-pound senior. He's come up big since the injury to Carter Evans. This time it's Lydon keeping it himself, and he's going to take it all the way. Connor Lydon from 39 yards out.
Now that's your option right there, Lee.
Where'd he go?
They close on the fullback, close on the fullback. Everybody's closing down on the fullback because he's running 6 times in a row. You can see, look at that. Everybody closed on him. And all of a sudden, breaking out in the open is Connor Lydon. Good job of play calling and really a great job of execution right here.
He did the Forrest Gump thing right out of the picture.
Oh, yeah. Run, Forrest, run. What a nice drive right there by Prairie Ridge. Just sustaining, using great patience and poise. And that's what you got to have in this particular offense. You can't get rattled. You just got to say, we're going to nickel dime. Again, first down being crucial. You got to pick up 4 or 5 yards, and then you can do some other things in your offense.
Koblinger the point after. 80 for 80 on point afters for Kyle Koblinger. Connor Lydon getting it done. Almost taken down in the backfield but takes it in from 39 yards out, and the Wolves are tied once again.
Dig the pig. Dig the pig from Butcher's Pizza. Locally made with the finest ingredients. The frozen pizza with the just made taste. The quality pizza that your family deserves. A quick meal you'll be proud to serve. Dig the pig. Dig the pig from Butcher's Pizza.
There's no limit to what you'll do for her. You want her to explore, to dream, to grow. You're always amazed at what her little mind creates and where the depths of her imagination take her. At OSF Healthcare Children's Hospital of Illinois, they explore the boundaries of healthcare. They dream beyond today to care for the tiniest of babies and the most complex illnesses. OSF Children's Hospital, creating a world where kids can grow without limits.
4:55 on the scoring drive that ties the game for Prairie Ridge. 8 plays. Koblinger ran 7 of them. Leiden takes it in from 39 yards out. So each quarterback has a lengthy touchdown run in this ball game. Tyler Macon for East St. Louis, and now Connor Leiden for Prairie Ridge. And we are tied here with 4:34 to go in the first half.
And they couldn't have done it differently as far as offenses are concerned and how they do it. But it's just amazing when you look at 2 different types of offenses and really 2 different types of quarterbacks. But they're both getting it done in their own particular style.
Kyle Koblinger does the point afters, and Jackson Reitz takes care of the kickoffs. There's a high bounce. And taken out to the 30-yard line. Kenneth Cotton on the return. Now a little extracurricular activity. The Prairie Ridge fans wanting a penalty. Dylan Appleton, a little bit of contact after the whistle. Pretty good start for East St. Louis. 2 out of 3 on their drive so far. Prairie Ridge going toe-to-toe with them here.
They really are. And, you know, you talk about chunk plays. That's not really what East St. Louis or what Prairie Ridge does until that last touchdown.
Macon out of the shotgun. Little pressure rolls right now. Takes off. Gets a block out front from Witherspoon and takes it out to the 40-yard line. Pickup of 8.
Now this is what we call soft pressure. These guys are not really rushing hard, as you can see on the outside. And watch the line of scrimmage. They're just trying to play it relatively soft because they know if they overplay with a real strong rush that he's going to find the lanes and get up the field, and they don't want that to happen.
He had a couple of rushing touchdowns in round 2 of the playoffs against Rock Island. They give this time to Witherspoon. He hurdles the lineman on the ground and takes it out to the 50 for a first down.
Again, a good job of running. You'll see the cutback right here, how he pops over the line of scrimmage. Very athletic, and a good job of cutting back, and a good job of open field tackling.
Witherspoon getting looks from Eastern Illinois, Central Michigan, Southern Miss so far. He's a senior who should be getting a lot of attention in the coming spring. 1st and 10 from the Flyers from their own 49. Witherspoon met at the line of scrimmage. There's a flag on the play. He picked up maybe a yard or 2. We'll see what the call is with the flag. It's a hold against the Flyers, so it'll come back.
During the run, holding, offense number 71, 10-yard penalty, the spotted foul. Replay, first down.
Penalties have been a problem for East St. Louis. They had 459 total yards against Richards in the playoff game with 18 penalties. That was in their quarterfinal win. 18 penalties in that ball game. This is just the second one against them here.
Well, they couldn't afford to do that against a team that Richards was an explosive ball club, and they didn't play close to the vest. Prairie Ridge plays close to the vest and likes to run the clock and control the ball. And if you're having a lot of penalties that put you in a hole, you can't afford to be very successful with that kind of a discipline.
Fakes the handoff, throws to Lovett. He's across midfield and out at the 45-yard line.
Now this is a big chunk play, obviously, right here. You can see he almost throws it sidearm in many cases mechanically. But again, just good speed and open field running. That gets a big chunk of that yardage right back for East St. Louis.
Pickup of 15. That pass incomplete. He intended for Keontez Lewis.
I think Prairie Ridge is playing one of those defenses where you talk about bending and not breaking. And against East St. Louis, that's basically what you've got to do. You know you're going to give up some big plays. You know you're going to give chunk plays, but you don't want to give up the big play that's a score. I mean, they're going to get yardage. You can see how the DBs back off a little bit.
Flyers 0 for 3 on third down, but they get the first down here. Complete to Lawan Powell Jr. There is a flag. Hang on for just a second. It could be coming back.
I find it really interesting to see how the secondary of Prairie Ridge is playing these different formations between the slots and the trip receivers. They'll back off. They'll play them up tighter. They'll play a zone. They'll play man under. But in most cases, you can't really match up real good man-to-man. You're better off in a zone, and that's what they're doing. But they're just giving them different looks, different zone coverages.
During the run, look up block in the back. Offense number 72. 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Play third down.
And really, at this point, this is the 12th man for, there's your block right at the top of your screen right there. And that's the 12th defender for Prairie Ridge, is the lack of discipline and the penalties that they're getting.
For East St. Louis.
Yes, correct.
3 penalties, 27 yards and counting for East St. Louis. Chris Schrempf said the key is we can't give up the big plays. We got to tackle well and make them run a lot of plays to score. 3rd and 12 here. Final minutes of the first half. Macon fakes the handoff. It's complete to Lawan Powell. He's down inside. Fumbles the ball at the 15. Prairie Ridge has it.
Wow.
Mason Laux jumps on it. Lovett had a first down and more, but got a little loose with the football, and Mason Laux is there to retrieve it for Prairie Ridge.
This is just an outstanding combination prior to the fumble of a catch and a run afterwards. A big yak play, what we call yardage after the catch, and a good strip right there.
Strip, yeah.
And then you don't recover these fumbles if guys are not hustling behind the play. And that's what they're doing right here. They're hustling behind the play to get there, and he makes the recovery.
Ty Baker comes up with the strip. I thought he was just carrying it a little bit loose, but Baker went in there and ripped it away. A la Peanut Tillman of the Chicago Bears fame. Thank you. Prairie Ridge from their own 11 now after the turnover. And a good job by Lydon, yeah. I thought he had given it up to Koblinger, but he hung on to it. Koblinger went down at the line of scrimmage, and Lydon gets positive yardage out to the 17-yard line.
Well, you could see right there, he reads that option. You see how fast that outside linebacker defensive end closed down in the fullback dive coming off the edge. And he kind of saw him sliding down a little bit, so he pulled it and picked up some nice yardage on first down. And again, that's what makes this offense go. First down yardage.
2nd and 4 for the Wolves. Minute 36 to go, and not much there for Koblinger. Picked up maybe a yard or two. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And really, in order to run this particular offense, you have to have great patience. And there's a lot of coaches that they pick their offense based kind of on their personality and what they do and what they believe in. And there's Chris Shrimp right there. You can see the poise and the leadership that he has and the patience that he shows with this particular offense.
During those state championship years, 16 and 17, they had a 30-game win streak. Leiden keeps it for the first down. We are under a minute to go now here in the first half, all even at 14.
So many players, so many parents want the big play, explosive type of offenses, but in order to run this kind of an offense, you've got to have patience. And you got to believe in it, and the kids believe in it, and they run it very effectively. And this is what Chris has been running for almost, I think, possibly all 18 years of his career at Prairie Ridge.
Leiden, the quarterback, with 4 carries, 49 yards. Clock ticking, just seconds remaining, and the right tackle or maybe the tight end move for Prairie Ridge.
Ball start. Offense, number 12, 5-yard penalty. Make the first down.
Those are such big penalties for Prairie Ridge because they're not a team that is really going to hurt you when they have to have big yardage like this when they're behind the chains. East St. Louis can get away with penalties like that occasionally. Prairie Ridge, it's not part of their look, part of their offense.
It's first down and 15, 20 seconds and counting here in the first half. Prairie Ridge has played it just exactly like Chris Shrimp would like. I mean, I'm sure he didn't want to give up 14 points, but he's right in this game as the official takes a timeout now with 7 seconds to play. Not sure what the discussion is.
Kind of some confusion for everybody here.
And maybe the clock was supposed to keep going and didn't. Not sure there, but they run off the final 7 seconds of the first half. And we are all tied after 24 minutes of play, 14-14. East St. Louis, a heavy favorite perhaps in a lot of minds, but Prairie Ridge right here even, 14 all here at the half.
Not only is Country Financial our insurance, but they treated us like family.
Relationships are the single most important piece of the puzzle. We always ask this question: what is the right thing to do?
Nikki's donations made a huge impact on a lot of people. This one right here, sitting next to me especially. When Gift of Hope came to me and asked me for the donation, it made me feel very confident knowing that I can give my baby's heart. This is Nikki's heart beating inside Tanisha's chest.
So when I heard this pounding, like, what is that noise? And the nurse said to me, that's your heart.
I carried Nikki for 9 months. Now Tanisha's gonna carry her the rest of her life.
Say yes to donation. Start the conversation with your loved ones today.
Well, everything we have is insured with Country Financial. Our home is insured with Country Financial.
Our cars.
All of our cars, all of our recreational vehicles. Our life is insured, and our liability is with Country Financial.
We keep in contact on a pretty regular basis and make sure that everything that they think they've got coverage for, they actually do.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better?
But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
Been the union labor for about 13 years.
And it's just never the same thing twice. You know, it's a lot of different things. You're always doing different things.
I enjoy joining up the union, joining the brotherhood, have some backing for good wage, good insurance, retirement.
And if one for the union, I'll probably be, I'm not sure where I would be at.
Welcome back to DeKalb, tied at 14 here at the half. Let's go downstairs to Dan Cohen.
I'm now joined by Prairie Ridge head coach Chris Schrempf. Coach, what can you say about your defense in the first half, holding this team to 14 points?
Yeah, best case scenario, I think, for us when you look at their past film. Kids are playing hard. They've got some great athletes, and we've got a good 11 group of guys out there who can really play. And nice to see the strip at the end. We work on those things every day in practice, and we're seeing the things we coach the guys on every day are showing out on the field.
And what do you like from your offense, even after Teagan went out with a knee injury?
Grinding out yardage. That's what we need to do. We've been preaching that. Gain 3-4 yards every play, and we're going to be right in the game.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back up to you guys.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. In this case, the old grind is a good thing for Prairie Ridge as they are tied with East St. Louis here at the half. We're back in DeKalb right after this.
There's no limit to what you'll do for her. You want her to explore, to dream, to grow. You're always amazed at what her little mind creates and where the depths of her imagination take her. At OSF Healthcare Children's Hospital of Illinois, they explore the boundaries of healthcare. They dream beyond today to care for the tiniest of babies and the most complex illnesses. OSF Children's Hospital, creating a world where kids can grow without limits.
A great bank begins with great relationships. Great relationships with local businesses and everyday customers like Les and Jenny, who bought their new home with the help of Better Banks, and Rachel, who came to us when she wanted her first car, or the college fund that we helped Courtney and Zach set up for their future graduate. Banking is about relationships, and Better Banks knows that. Since 1898, we've been listening to our customers and committed to our community. Bank better with Better Banks.
Okay, best claim denied. Go! When I put the paperwork in a safe, told them I couldn't process the claim yet because I lost the key.
When I wrote a policy so confusing that it literally translated into no coverage for the premium being paid.
They should have read their own policy.
Even I couldn't read it.
But I just said, you're denied. Yeah, but what about... Denied.
Even if...
Denied.
Do your insurance adjusters sound like this? Then you need strong law.
Prepare to explore the mind of the most influential artist, inventor, and engineer. Peoria Riverfront Museum presents Da Vinci, the Genius, the world's most comprehensive hands-on exhibition on Leonardo da Vinci to tour the world. Discover the secrets of the Mona Lisa and explore his most amazing creations. See Da Vinci, the Genius, only at the Riverfront Museum.
Back at Husky Stadium, tied at 14. Let's throw it downstairs to Tony Cornish and Dan Cohen. Guys?
Thank you, sir. We certainly appreciate it. We are up here in our studio, I guess, our temporary studio here at NIU. It's a very lofty position. Get to see all the great action.
Yeah, we've had some great football and a great first half of this 6A game. Prairie Ridge has answered the call against this high-flying East St. Louis team thus far.
No doubt about that, Dan. We're going to check out these highlights, and I tell you what, explosion, great talent, great exhibition of football. What else would you expect in a state championship game? Right here, ESL gets on the board first. East St. Louis on the roll out there. Tyler Macon, Kientez Lewis, touchdown from 5 yards out, 7-zip in the first quarter.
Yeah, and Prairie Ridge, they've thrown it a lot this year, and Tegan Trost, before exiting with a knee injury, a great catch from Connor Lydon to get the Wolves on the board in the first half.
No doubt about that, and the action did continue a little bit later on. East St. Louis gets on the board again. Tyler making a 42-yard touchdown scamper. Great speed and cutback ability at the 9:29 mark, second quarter. 14-7 East St. Louis.
His head coach said he can run this offense blindfolded, and he looked pretty good on that run, but guess what? Prairie Ridge has a quarterback who can run too. Look at this run from the Wolves signal caller to tie the game at 14. Just an impressive ability from both of these quarterbacks.
Connor Lydon, a senior extraordinaire, getting it done, no doubt about that. Taking a look at the first half statistics right now. First down, Prairie Ridge, slight edge over East St. Louis, 9-6. Rushing yards, 131 to 130. Passing yards, a little bit of an edge for East St. Louis. Total yards there, you see it, Dan, 236 to 176.
And you know the Flyers are going to want to clean up those penalties. A couple of costly ones in the first half. 4 of them there, only 2 for Prairie Ridge. Those third down conversions are the story as well. 5 of 6 for Prairie Ridge, 0 of 4.
Yeah, time of possession, 13:56 for Prairie Ridge, 10:04 for East St. Louis.
And you're going to see adjustments moving forward in the second half. You know East St. Louis has the playmakers to get on the board. Thus far, only 2 touchdowns to Prairie Ridge's 2 touchdowns. You have to think the Wolves like that going into the locker room tying this game.
It's like a chess match right now. You can see the strategy going on the field. You have the big guns for East St. Louis, highly publicized, but Prairie Ridge is saying, wait a minute, we've come to play too. We have playmakers on our side, and they're coming up with big plays at the right time.
And we know they like to run the football a lot out of this triple option, but thus far they've shown the ability to get the ball in the air too, and the rain is held off for now.
Thankfully.
We'll wait and see if that continues, but the wind thus far, not really much of a factor with both of these teams getting to the air and often effectively at times.
You talked about adjustments. That's what's going on right now in the locker room. X's and O's, trying to put your skill position players in the right positions to come up with a big play. East St. Louis, again, you've got to watch out for that speed on the outside.
Yeah, and they're big playmakers, a lot of them going to Division I, getting looked at by Division I schools. You know they're going to try and get those guys into the open field, and they're going to try and spread this out. This team is so effective. They score a ton of points this year. We'll see if Prairie Ridge's defense can stay on task. We know they have been at it thus far. We'll see if they get gas trying to keep up with this East St. Louis team.
And don't forget about that East St. Louis offensive line, averaging 6'3", over close to 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Ground and pound time we could see coming up in the second half. We're going to take a short break right here at NIU. You're looking live at DeKalb, a beautiful gray day in the city, but you know what? It's a sunshiny day as far as we're concerned because it's Championship Saturday right here at Husky Stadium. We'll be back in just a few moments.
At Bottom Line Solutions, we're all about adding value to your bottom line. Margins are thin, and it's all about finding what makes your operation the most money. We're really focused on precision planting products. 2020, SeedSense, Speed Drive, Delta Force, a lot of cutting-edge precision products. Let's find out what is most important and what's going to make you the most money in your farm. Add on these products. If your iron's good, your bearings are solid, and it's not wore out, we can take your old planter and make it like new. Bottom Line Solutions is your precision ag professional.
So what would you say makes SIU Carbondale different?
Well, here at SIU,
and we're live.
We're studying the past for the future.
Because learning is a science.
And an art form.
Education.
And experience.
So that's a salute.
At 25 News, we're digging deeper with award-winning journalism. And now, 25 News' Caitlin Canute has been recognized for exceptional journalism. Awarded an Emmy in the category of Outstanding Achievement for Specialty Report and Series with her special report, The Sound of Silence. Award-winning coverage, that's our commitment to the community. Bringing you the best local coverage from the news team you know and trust. We're 25 News, and we're proud to be your home team.
How's your checking account looking? Half full? Half empty? Low? It happens. Then payday rolls around and you're good. So why do banks charge a monthly fee if you don't keep a big minimum balance in your checking? At SEFCU, there's no minimum balance, no monthly fee. So you get everything you want. SEFCU, not a bank, better.
And once again, welcome back to Husky Stadium. Again, we're in the middle of a great matchup. East St. Louis, the Flyers taking on Prairie Ridge. The Wolves tie things up. We're all tied at 14, and this game has really turned out to be what we expected, a championship caliber matchup between two high-profile teams, explosive offenses matching up on the gridiron and giving the fans, you at home and the fans, of course, here at the stadium, a big thrill, no doubt about that. Of course, earlier today we had Class 5A championship game played. Rochester and St. Rita putting on a great show. 42-28, Rochester, the Rockets, getting the state championship plaque and going home in grand style, giving their fans a thrill. 42-28 again, Class 5A. Right now, again, tied at 14 apiece. East St. Louis and Prairie Ridge. We're expecting a very explosive second half as these two teams come out, I think, on fire, as they know they're a couple minutes away from a possible state championship. And Nazareth Academy, of course, coming up in Class 7A, going up against Chicago Mount Carmel. Both teams at 13-0. Should be another great matchup. And then our nightcap, Lincoln Way East, 13-0, taking on Warren Township. They've slated to start about 7 o'clock or so, and that should be another great game you don't want to miss right here on the IHSA television network. Again, I'm Tony Cornish Jr. We're standing by here at Husky Stadium on a very brisk and windy day, but again, great day for championship football. The elements really no great concern for these teams because they're focused on one thing, getting a W in the biggest game of their seasons. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more insight, more analysis on the state championship title tilt when we come back. Don't go away.
The new $3 Little John from Jimmy John's is just like our original sandwiches, only littler. So we bought a little ad on Lil John.
Little John, yeah! $3, what?
My name is Tristan Smith. I am a laborer of Local 231. I'm actually a fourth-generation laborer in my family. The most memorable moment for me in high school and playing sports was that I played with the same girls from 5th grade year to my senior year of high school. They taught me a lot about teamwork, dependability, punctuality, perseverance. I don't think I could have got through many games without them being by my side, which has helped my career choice an extreme amount due to when I'm on a job site, I'm relying on people every day for teamwork, advice, wisdom. They help me persevere through the rough days, and they depend on me every day to be there. So I'm thankful for what high school sports taught me and led me into this career.
This is a Jimmy John's sandwich, made with all-natural meats, hand-sliced veggies, and fresh-baked bread. And this is the new Little John, available for only $3. They're almost identical. Almost. Good job. Okay.
And once again, welcome back to Husky Stadium here in DeKalb on the campus of Northern Illinois University. Class 6A state championship game. East St. Louis and the Prairie Ridge Wolves all tied at 14. I'm Tony Cornish Jr. Glad to have you on board on what should be another great day of football. That's right. It's state title football. You can't beat this on a November afternoon, can you? We're glad to have you on board. Let's go back to the booth now. Two gentlemen are standing by with great insight and analysis on what I think will be an explosive second half. Let's go back upstairs to Lee and Jack, who are standing by. Gentlemen.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. Looking forward to it. Great ball game so far, tied at 14. 236 yards of total offense for East St. Louis, 176 for Prairie Ridge. But the score is the same, 14-all.
Well, that to me is the most interesting part. But some of those stats from that first half to me that really jump out are the third down stats, where East St. Louis was 0 for 4 and Prairie Ridge was 5 for 6. And that has a lot to do with patience and the type of offenses that they run. And let's take a look at listen to the coaches right now.
All right, let's go downstairs to Dan Cohen.
I'm joined now by head coach Darren Sunkett of East St. Louis. Coach, what was your message to your team in the locker room?
Well, just finish the job. You know, I mean, we're getting these guys in situations we want them in, third and long situations at times, and then we're giving up the big play. You know, we just got to be a little more disciplined on the edges, and just get the ball back to the offense a few more times. You know, I feel like we can get a few more touches, we can put these guys away.
And offensively, you've shown the ability all season to get the big play. You know, what can we expect from you guys here in the second half?
Well, I mean, we're going to still try to get the big play. You know, like I say, it's windy and the ball's not traveling like the way we would like it to. But, you know, I mean, we're still searching for it, and we're setting that up.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. It'll be interesting to see how this second half develops. This is one of the better games we've seen so far this weekend. Of course, that 3A game that went down to the final wire last night, and this one has the potential to do the same thing here.
Well, no doubt about it. And if this were the conclusion of the game right now at halftime, people would say this was an upset based on what Prairie Ridge has done. But the other part of that is, you know, when we talked about statistics in that first half, East St. Louis ran 23 plays. 12 were runs and 11 passes. So pretty good balance right there, which keeps Prairie Ridge off balance defensively, but yet they bent, but they didn't break. And on the other side of the coin for Prairie Ridge, they had 25 plays, 21 runs, and 4 pass plays. And all 4 of those pass plays were very effective because they were out of the play action. So they both know how to take care of their particular offenses, and it's going to be really kind of interesting in the second half to see who plays the best. And the other part for East St. Louis are penalties. Right. That's really hurt them in that first half with some of the big plays they had. And that, as I mentioned, was kind of the 12th defender for Prairie Ridge because East St. Louis was shooting their own foot.
Man, I would like to join them for the second half of this game. It looks like a lot of fun over there with the East St. Louis band. In a hurry, but want a fresh, affordable meal to serve your family or friends? Biaggi's Pronto Packs make it easy to enjoy an authentic Italian meal at home or on the go. Perfectly sized to serve 4 to 5 people, starting at only $30. Pronto Packs include your choice of a pasta or 2 pizzas with a house or Caesar salad, freshly baked bread with Biaggi's butter for dipping. Or if you're planning a meal for a large group, just ask about their party pans. Size for 8 to 12 guests, ready for pickup with 24 hours advance notice. With 6 Illinois locations, Biaggi's carryout is the perfect solution for your busy lifestyle.
I'm making my mouth water with that one.
Just about ready to get started here in the third quarter. Prairie Ridge already down 1 star running back, their top running back. And now they lose another one here in the early going of this game, and we'll see how they adjust. They're doing pretty well so far, tied with East St. Louis. 24 minutes to play. That may not be enough.
And the difficult part about that is the man that they lost was really their threat on the edges of getting outside with the speed. And now they've had to use some other plays where they're just banging it up inside and going to the pass game because it's difficult to get to the edges when you don't have any speed.
Blake Brown and Ty Baker back deep. This is Baker from his own 10-yard line. Out across the 30, hit hard at the 34. And that's where the Wolves will start on offense. 131 rushing yards, 45 yards through the air for Prairie Ridge in the first half. Kolblinger with 56 yards to lead the way for Prairie Ridge. Leiden, the quarterback, with 49. Trost had 27 before he went out with the injury. He also had a touchdown catch. Connor Leiden under center to get things started here in the second half. The handoff is to Kolblinger, still on his feet across the 40, out to the 41-yard line. Pickup of about 7 on first down for Kyle Kolblinger.
And what a big play that is right off the bat for Kolblinger and the Prairie Ridge offense. And the left side of that offensive line of Matron and Paluzzi and center Schnorr, because those are the guys that make that play go. But the key is that fullback hits the hole so very quickly that the reaction of the defensive line, you know, gives him 8 yards right off the bat.
Prairie Ridge now on second down. Kolblinger met right at the first down marker.
Kevon Billingsley, who's headed to the University of Missouri, another D1 player on this squad for East St. Louis, with the stop right at the line.
Well, right there, the defensive front and linebackers really filled quickly on that. And again, what this sets up is that they're starting to squeeze them in for the amount of runs that they've been having between the tackles. But yet, can they get outside on the edges without Trost being in the ball game?
Third down and very short. Give is to Koblinger around the left end. He's got the first down. He's wrestled down by Lawan Powell, but not before he can get first down yardage. We talked about him getting some action in week 8 in the backfield. He wasn't playing offense at all at the beginning of the year, so it has been quite a transition if you look at the entirety of the season for Kyle Koblinger.
Well, he's the type of ball player that thrives in the offense of Chris Schrempf, because he's an outstanding athlete. And when one player goes down, then you have to move some athletes around. And when they're good athletes, they can play different positions. And that's certainly what they have at Prairie Ridge.
Koblinger hit hard at the line, but Leiden kept the ball and just lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that one.
Well, that's a perfect shot right here. Billingsley hitting the fullback. He closed down real quickly. But what happened on this play that hasn't happened in the other ones, Billingsley had the fullback, so he closed down real flat on the line of scrimmage. But then the linebacker stepped up and filled that gap and was able to take Connor Linden right after he faked the handoff. And that's what they're going to need to have to do consistently to be able to stop this Prairie Ridge offense.
2nd and 10. Leiden back to throw. Pump fakes. Throws it deep for George Concialdi. And he can't come down with it.
You'll be able to get a good look at him coming right off the top at the screen right there. And he actually has him beat. The ball had a little more air underneath it. And that's, again, when you run the ball 5 or 6 consecutive times, that secondary has a tendency to step up to want to help with the run.
The first target for Concialdi on the day. His brother Sam was a member of the 2016 state championship team for Prairie Ridge.
Now, this is not the type of yardage situation that Prairie Ridge wants to be in. 3rd and 10.
Brown is the man in motion. The throw is to the weak side to a wide open Kyle Koblinger, all the way down inside the 30, down to the 24-yard line.
What a well-designed football play that was right here. You can see that he goes in one direction and then has the throwback to Koblinger out in the flat, and just a nice job of open field running right there to pick up a big first down. And that was really a big first down for Prairie Ridge to keep those flags going. Now, what's going to happen now is they're really going to go back to their run game right here.
29 yards on the pickup. We talk about the D1 athletes on the East St. Louis side. Wisconsin Stout and North Park, smaller division schools, looking at number 8, Kyle Koblinger. Leiden looking to throw again, and overthrowing his intended receiver, Zachary Benson, 5'11", 170-pound sophomore, into the ball game.
Kind of surprises me on that particular call, only because that, that's now puts them 2nd down and 10, whereas when they run their ball, normally they get 4 and 5 yards a carry, as we showed earlier in the stats. And so they'd come up and maybe they'd be 2nd down and 5 yards, rather now 2nd down and 10 yards. But I think that they probably figured that East St. Louis was thinking the same way I am, so maybe they thought they'd catch him on 1st down with a play action pass.
Here's a give to the 2nd man through, and that's Benson kind of coming around from that left side.
And that's the first time they've run this counter. They look in one direction, you see him coming back with the guard and tackle both pulling. He cuts underneath the trap block, and a good pickup right there. And of course they're going to go for it right here.
Nice block by number 75, Riley Smith, the academic all-stater, on the line there.
So they're in 4th down territory. And this type of offense where you can play it all the way down the field, so red zone doesn't make any difference.
3rd and 2. Koblinger gets the first down, still driving the pile all the way down to the 10-yard line. Pickup of 6 for Koblinger.
Good job again by the left side of the offensive line. You'll see him close down wedge block. He just gets right in behind him. And that's the whole concept about this particular offense. If you ever watch the service academies, they play this type of offense. And one of the reasons is they have smaller linemen. And so they can't physically match up with some people. So they just show the patience of pounding the ball, and then some misdirection here and there and some play action passes. It's effective for them, and so far it's been effective for Prairie Ridge.
10th play of the drive. Give is to Koblinger up the middle. Reaches out, gets down to the 6-yard line, and that you've seen the strength of Kyle Koblinger on the last couple of plays. He was a state qualifier in wrestling last year.
Well, you know they're always tough. Now that's the way the quarterback stepped back there. He wanted to make sure that the fullback had room to run in either direction off the center. In many cases, he just steps, and it's either a dive right to the right side of the center or a dive left to the right side of the center. But when he takes that step back, that gives the fullback the opportunity to go right up the middle towards the center and cut in either direction.
Leiden changing the call at the line. He's going to keep it himself. Gets hit at the 5 and met at the 4-yard line by a host of Flyers defenders.
Again, trying to make sure that hopefully that he follows the lead of the lead back right there. The play is designed for the linebackers to close down in the initial fake to the fullback, and then he follows the halfback into the line of scrimmage on a lead play, but a good job by closing down of the linebackers from East St. Louis.
Looks like it was very close to a face mask on that play. Clock ticking. Prairie Ridge with the ball. That's what they want. Under 6 minutes to go now here in the 3rd.
This is really a crucial drive for Prairie Ridge right here to punch this ball in.
3rd and goal. Here's that counter give again, and it's broken up this time. Benson with the carry, and it's Lawan Powell and Jermirante Burgess on the stop.
And this is just great discipline by East St. Louis on the back side. They didn't fall for anything closing down too quickly. They just stayed home, which is what they're supposed to do. And in this particular case, they made the play by showing good discipline defensively.
Kevon Billingsley was down on the field and making the tackle, and gave credit to the guys up top that came on later. Billingsley ranked number 8 by Rivals.com in the state of Illinois, and the number 8 prospect.
And East St. Louis was lucky they didn't get a flag on that last one for taunting.
4th and goal. Leiden looking for someone. Throws it into the end zone, and it's broken up there. And it was Jermirante Burgess on the coverage. The intended receiver, Benson.
Well, that was a big stop for East St. Louis because of Prairie Ridge had scored on that one. Who knows what could have happened in the remainder of this ball game because of the defense that they've been playing with the bend defense.
East St. Louis doing a good job stopping the run, forcing Prairie Ridge to throw the football, and they come up short on this drive, and we remain in a 14-14 tie.
During our Black Friday sale at Bob Grimm Chevrolet, you can save big on every new Chevy. Silverado is the #1 selling truck in Central Illinois, and during our Black Friday sale, you can save $10,000 to $13,000 on every 2019 Silverado in stock. Find new roads to Bob Grimm Chevrolet and more, or find us anytime at bobgrimmchevrolet.com.
So, what would you say makes SIU Carbondale different?
Well, here at SIU,
And we're live.
we're studying the past for the future.
Because learning is a science.
And an art form.
Education.
And experience.
So, that's a salute.
During our Black Friday sale at Bob Grimm Chevrolet, you can save big on every new Chevy. Equinox is the #1 selling crossover in Central Illinois, and during our Black Friday sale, you can save $6,000 to $7,000 on every new Equinox. Find new roads to Bob Grimm Chevrolet and more, or find us anytime at bobgrimmchevrolet.com.
Back at it, 3rd down here for East St. Louis, and a strike to Lovett from Tyler Macon, and it's a 1st down for the Flyers.
What a good job of scrambling out of trouble right here. And this is what makes it so difficult to contain a quarterback like this. And he throws his sidearm and still delivers on a big third down play for East St. Louis to get him out of bad field position and kind of in some more of a work zone where they can kind of move the game plan around a little bit.
Lovett goes now to the far side. Making out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff. Here comes the blitz. It's complete to Lovett. Across midfield, he's going to take it in all the way. Touchdown, East St. Louis. 66 yards, Macon to Dominic Lovett.
Well, Lovett got under in a post route. He gets underneath the safety right here. And there he just could not keep up with him. The zone got emptied. He got into the dead spot, delivered the football, and that speed is not something you're going to catch up with. Good job of execution right there and being able to read where the zone was and where the dead spot was. A good route, good execution.
Turn to run. A sideline warning on the Flyers. Result of the play, touchdown.
15th touchdown catch of the year for Dominic Lovett. He's getting looked at by West Virginia, Louisville, Illinois, Iowa State. 66-yard touchdown catch from Tyler Macon.
And you saw how long it took them to move down the field as opposed to how long it took Prairie Ridge to move down the field and get in scoring position. That's the type of offense that they have.
Demarion Cotton's extra point attempt is no good, so it's 20-14, and that could be a big play. But here's the bigger play. Macon to Lovett for 66 yards and a Flyers lead with 3:24 to play in the third.
Third generation union labor. Love fishing and hunting, and love construction.
All the benefits, the insurance, the pay.
Well, it's given me insurance that I've got for my kids. The money I make, I've been able to go on vacations when I want to.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today.
This broadcast is copyrighted by Quincy Media Incorporated, the NFHS Network, and the IHSA. Any other use of this broadcast or internet stream without the express written consent of Quincy Media Incorporated, the NFHS Network, and the IHSA is strictly prohibited and a violation of U.S. copyright law.
Lee Hall, Jack McInerney, Dan Cohen, and the whole entire IHSA TV crew with you here from DeKalb. Tony Cornish alongside as well. We've got ourselves quite a ball game. East St. Louis with one of their patented short, time-wise, quick touchdown drives with the big play from Macon to Lovett. Prairie Ridge grabs the kickoff. Ty Baker, a 15-yard return there, and Prairie Ridge will start at their own 30 and try and get back level with the Flyers.
Well, East St. Louis only took 4 plays in a minute and 32 seconds on that particular drive to score. And Prairie Ridge, on the other hand, had 13 plays and took up 7 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock as opposed to a minute and 32 for East St. Louis. 13 plays compared to 4, so it kind of gives you an idea of the explosiveness and the type of offenses that each team runs and what they want to do.
Koblinger, the first man through, spins away from tackle and takes it out to the 45-yard line. They'll mark him at the 44. A pickup of 14 for Kyle Koblinger.
What a great job right here, the cutback, and then just power and keeping his legs going. And he's not that big a back, but he's just got really good stamina.
And now it's Koblinger who's down.
You know, East St. Louis, Lee, had really a tough schedule. We'll take a look at the run here and how he spins, and this probably can contribute to what happened right there with the ankle. It did, and they come down on it. But gee, he's been really a rock so far for Prairie Ridge. But East St. Louis.
Let's throw it quickly down to Dan Cohen.
You guys were talking about Kyle Kolblinger, and we saw him in the quarterfinals. He was struggling in the mud. We had that earlier bad weather in November, and he struggled in the quarterfinals on a muddy field and bounced right back with 244 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns in their semifinal victory. And thus far, he's had a good day on the turf, but as we keep an eye on him and Tegan Trost, both injured in this game, definitely something to keep an eye on as Prairie Ridge's offense will look to that next man up mentality as they continue to tend to Kolblinger at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, you can just, thanks Dan, you can just feel the heart sinking on the Prairie Ridge sideline. And after those mud turf games that Kolblinger and Prairie Ridge dealt with, he said running on the turf was like taking off ankle weights. Hopefully he can get up here and continue, as you see Darren Sunkett of East St. Louis, the head coach, coming out and giving him a pat on the back.
Well, East St. Louis during the year played a tough schedule, and they did that intentionally. They knew that they were moving up, but early on in their very first ball game, they played Batavia, who was an 8A school, and they beat them pretty good. But then in their third ball game, they played Neuqua Valley from Naperville, and that was a real battle. They won 50-48. So that was in their third ball game. And then later on in the season, in their 9th game, they played Naperville Central, who's in the 8A game. And I had talked to Coach Sunkett, and I had asked him, why were you playing all over the state, especially up north? And he said that he wanted to make sure his players got competition. They had a feel for the kind of weather that goes on in the Chicago area, which is obviously the kind of weather we're looking at right here, and the idea of being on the road, which they are right here. So he kind of covered all his bases with his schedule this year. And the thing was, he came out very successfully in that very difficult schedule to be here at 13-0.
We will see if Kolblinger can come back and get back out on the field. Now they're next man up again. They're down to another backup. It's Zachary Benson in the fullback spot. He's the first man through and gets out to the 46-yard line. Pickup of a couple. Benson, the 5'11", 170-pound sophomore. So you're giving up just a little bit of size there weight-wise.
Well, looks like Kolblinger's back in the ball game. So that's a big lift for Prairie Ridge.
Shaken up, sets out one play and comes right back. We approach the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Give it to Kolblinger right away, and he's met right at the line. Maybe he gets a yard or two.
Well, they tried to,
Kendrick Scarborough steps up for the tackle.
They tried here to run the outside veer as opposed to what they'd been running earlier. The outside veer is designed to go off tackle more and not right up the middle. They try to double team down, and what happened was that the outside linebacker closed down, and they did a nice job. It takes a little longer to get there when you're running the outside veer as opposed to running the dive right up the middle, and it was good penetration right there by East St. Louis.
3rd and 5, possible 2-down territory here for Prairie Ridge. Here's the option. Oh, and they blow it up. Lawan Powell with the big hit on Kyle Kolblinger.
And this is really the first time that they've run the option outside as far as pitching the ball. And it doesn't go, and the reason it doesn't go is because it is strung out. Nobody closed down on the full or on the quarterback. They all went for the pitch man and stretched it till they were able to make the play. That was the way that Prairie Ridge was going to try and get out on the perimeter because they lost the speed of Trost. So they figured they'd try and run the option with the pitch on the outside to no avail against that speed of East St. Louis.
So the better play there would be maybe for the quarterback to hang on to the football and try it?
It just was strung out by by a really good effort on the defense by East St. Louis.
Koblinger with the punt, picked up by Lovett, and he's smothered at the 16-yard line. They'll give him progress out to the 18. Final minute of the third quarter. So it's up to the Prairie Ridge defense to keep them within one score here. As East St. Louis will get the ball here and try and add to their lead. Talk about them going out and playing those tough road games. When you go to East St. Louis, they refer to their home field as the House of Pain. That's what this place has been today for Prairie Ridge, losing Tegan Trost and Kyle Koblinger going out of the game for a little bit. Flag before the play gets underway, and it's going to be against East St. Louis.
Prior to snap, a false start offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
The center, Brian Bonnet.
Right, and usually you don't see that with the center. You'll see it with somebody else, but obviously he must have moved the ball in a motion that could have drawn the defense offside.
1st and 15. Making from his own 2, going deep to Antonio Johnson and overthrows him. Man, what arm strength. He threw that ball 60 yards in the air, Jack.
That's amazing. Amazing. And he's still overthrew his receiver.
Yeah.
And he tries to get right in the post area right there, and he had his corner beat, no doubt about it. But again, what that does is it makes those corners play a little softer out on the edges, and they're playing really soft now as it is.
Macon has great vision. He hit 5 different receivers in the win over Richards earlier in the playoffs. 2nd down and 15. I think there was a timeout called by East St. Louis. And after that Richards game, Richards coach Tony Sheehan said, "That's the best team I've ever seen. I don't know how you stop them." Preparing for your financial future doesn't have to be complicated. Take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. Get a good look at Darren Sunkett. His 24th year as a coach overall, 212 wins, 68 losses. He coached 4 years at Riverview Gardens in Missouri. Won a state championship there in '96. He's won 3 state championships at East St. Louis. Going for his 4th year. He said he knew these seniors were special when they came in as freshmen, and it is just a lineup dotted with future Division I players.
Well, they were down for a couple of years there early on in the late 70s and into '91. Bob Shannon won 6 titles at East St. Louis, and then they had kind of some turmoil there, and then now they're back in the hunt.
Complete to Keontez Lewis. He's outside. He could take it all the way. He's caught from behind at the 5-yard line.
And what a great job of hustle right there by Koblinger to get down there. Great throw, and then he breaks it to the outside, and watch it to top of your screen coming in to make the player. This has gone all the way. There's no doubt about it. In fact, I'm really surprised that it didn't go all the way, but he had the angle, and he just hustled right there. That's just great hustle right there to stop a touchdown. And he's played the entire game offensively. So you got to give a lot of credit right there to Kyle Koblinger to make that particular play. Didn't give up on it at all.
75 yards on the pitch and catch. We have played 3 quarters. The East St. Louis Flyers up by 1 touchdown, looking to add to that lead when we come back.
More than reporting, we're digging deeper, uncovering a rare and deadly brain cancer in central Illinois.
About how the cancer works.
Tracking the truth behind long-range forecasts.
228 years.
Revealing PTSD and the effects on first responders. Investigating emergency response protocols. That's journalism you can trust. We're 25 News, and we're digging deeper. We don't wait for winter weather. We track it.
Near record low temperatures as
Chuck Collins.
Temperatures are dropping.
Jesse Gwynn.
Winter weather advisory in effect.
Grace Devine.
2 to 3 inches of snow is expected.
The 25 Weather Tracker Team. Tracking, alerting, protecting.
Below normal temperatures.
When winter is at its worst, we're at our best. The 25 Weather Tracker Team. We track storms.
Prep Rally is our weekly celebration of high school sports. We spend all week shooting games, shooting interviews, shooting highlights. On Prep Rally, we show off the very best plays, the very best games, the very best athletes. Plus, we bring in the coaches and athletes for some very fun live interviews. We love Prep Rally every week. Hopefully, you can tune in. It's Prep Rally every Thursday at 6:30.
25 Sports Prep Rally, brought to you by McLean County Orthopedics.
We were both excited and nervous about choosing a college.
It's a big decision. We had a lot of questions before choosing Illinois State University. How will I make friends?
Where will I live? And who will I live with?
Where will I eat?
How will I survive without my dog?
Can I try something new?
Can I keep doing the things I love?
Whether you have specific questions or just need reassurance along the way, we're here to help.
Let's talk.
IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you by Country Financial. Preparing your financial future doesn't have to be complicated. Take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
On a day like today, that is high fashion, let me tell you. Anything to stay warm on this cold, blustery day. East St. Louis looking to go up by 2 touchdowns here.
Somebody's wide open at the top and nobody sees him.
He's wide open, all right. Makes the catch in the end zone. Love it. From Tyler Macon, 7-yard touchdown strike. Nobody covered him. The eye in the sky. Jack McInerney calling that one. Somehow Dominic Lovett, their top receiver, snuck out to the wide side of the field. Nobody knew he was there. You got to have somebody on him, don't you?
You rarely ever see that. You got somebody out there now on him, but wow.
Going for 2 here. DeMonte Witherspoon bounces it outside, gets hit at the 2, but gets in for the 2-point conversion, and it's a 14-point lead for East St. Louis. Pulling away here in the opening moments of the 4th quarter.
Good job right here by Witherspoon getting to the corner. And you can see a pretty good job of blocking right there. He lowers his shoulder and bounces up into the end zone. And they're on a roll right now.
If you're looking for him on Twitter, his Twitter handle is @PrimetimeSpoon. DeMonte Witherspoon. 1,649 yards coming into the game. He and the Flyers now take a 14-point lead. That third quarter, time of possession, 9:57 for Prairie Ridge, only 2:03 for East St. Louis. I guess it all depends on what you're doing in that time. There's the time of possession in this ball game. That kind of shows you the meaning of that stat in this kind of game, I guess.
Well, there's no doubt about that. That's why a lot of people, if you look at stats and you don't read them properly as far as what you're looking for in there, you can be really surprised. And that kind of is a perfect example right there.
Ty Baker, the up man, had that one kicked right to him in the air. Takes it out to the 41-yard line. And this is not the kind of position you talk about being behind the sticks. If you're Prairie Ridge, you don't want to be down 2 touchdowns either.
And you really don't. And of course, you can ill afford it when you've been having the injuries and people stepping in for the people that are not normally your starters. I mean, they've been doing a great job, but they still are somewhat undermanned. But just a great job and effort on the part of Prairie Ridge and Chris Schrimm.
Here's the pitch to Zach Benson, and he fumbled it. And the Flyers get it back.
Well, this is only the second this is only the second time that they've run the option outside as far as quarterback pitch ratio, and they pitch the ball and tries to give him a straight arm, but he fends it off and he loses the ball with his free hand. And surprisingly, the call could have been that he was not in possession as he slid out of bounds with it. And this is the United States Marine Corps play of the game. And if it's a Marine Corps play of the game, it's got a lot of significance.
That's right.
Just good hustle, really, by East St. Louis defensively. Now, I think they're talking about this, whether or not he had possession. Oh, copying something right out of the pros do that? A couple
turnover
of
chain, yeah.
Looks like something I gave to my wife with Christmas.
With all that money you got, yeah.
Only that's not.
Well, they took it back from him, and they may take it back from East St. Louis. We'll see what's going on with the discussion here. I think that's the discussion.
As far as possession.
Perhaps, I don't know, the Prairie Ridge coaches have their hands in the air like.
Defensive player's foot was out of bounds on the line. Therefore, the recovery was out of bounds. First down, Prairie Ridge.
Well, sometimes they have to have a keen eye, Lee.
Well, and that's really great work by the officials. I know the East St. Louis folks won't like to hear that, but they got together. They determined that he wasn't.
Right here, watch. He doesn't have possession. He does not have possession. There's
now he's got possession and his legs out of bounds.
Right, great call. Absolutely a great call. I don't want to be patting myself on the back because I'm too cold to reach back there, but that's just great officiating. We've had an outstanding crew today, as well as we've had for all these games. These officials do a terrific job. And you notice they didn't have instant replay to go look at.
Right.
They conferred with each other, and that's the way you should do it. And from a coaching standpoint, when officials do that, you feel better about a call, whether it goes your way or not. At least they're talking to each other about it.
And they're doing it in real time, as you mentioned. That isn't it amazing? Everybody thought with the instant replay coming into the game in college and the pros that everything would be perfect, and it's surely not been that. As the tank gets across the line, Darren Perkins with the sack.
And coming from the backside, he never saw him. And that's why usually when you hear people say, well, you want to put your best defensive or offensive lineman on the left side to protect the blind side of the quarterback, that's what they're referring to. Most quarterbacks are right-handed. When they set up, they really can't see to the back left. And that's why that is so very effective and very tough for a quarterback.
Loss of 7 there.
That's the proverbial blind side, excuse me, Lee.
East St. Louis with 5 sacks against Belleville West in week 4, a season high. 3rd and long, Lyden rolling out. Ooh. Has a man open downfield at the 50-yard line, and that is Blake Brown.
And that ball could have been, if it was thrown a little higher, it could have led to about 10 or 20 more yards. It's unfortunate he had to make really a nice catch to pick up that first down right there.
Going to be 4th and a yard.
Oh, 4th and a yard. I thought he had it.
Just shy of it.
Well, if he didn't have to die for it, he certainly would have had it.
Well, again, a team that doesn't throw a lot, although Lyden now over 1,000 yards passing for the season.
There's your first down.
That's a first down for Koblinger. Came out of the game, but tough young man. He's back out there. Deerfield Steve Winicki last week after the game said he's my favorite player not on our side. I thought that was high praise.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He's done a great job today on both sides of the football field, on both sides, offensively and defensively.
1st and 10, Koblinger on first down to the 40, a pickup of 8.
Now this is again the outside veer. They go further out with the ride. It was a double team down. Good job. Now they ran it one time earlier in the ball game and did not go very well. This time it was run very effectively and picks up some good yardage. He's had about 8 yards on that particular game.
2nd and a couple. Koblinger again breaks a tackle and then brought down. Antonio Johnson, the first man there. And one of the things that Chris Shrimp talked about earlier this week was about the triple option. We want to run it faster as the game progresses. I think we're seeing that right here in the fourth quarter. We don't run a lot of different plays. We just want to get better at what we do and keep. They want a little bit of an up tempo too with that.
Well, they do, and that keeps the tempo going for the quarterback, and it makes the defensive lineman obviously a little more leery of what's going on here.
Toblinger now over 100 yards, 104 to be exact. He gets the carry up the middle for about 3.
And again, Prairie Ridge showing the patience that you need to have with this particular offense. Just pick your spots from the standpoint of going for that play action for that big play. They don't really have the guy that can break it from the line of scrimmage for that big touchdown run that when they lost Trost, but play action pass has been their big play. And the key to it is the yardage situation that they're in.
2nd and 7. And Lydon keeps it, and he's down to the 23-yard line, very close to the first down. He hung on that ball a long time and wisely kept it. And he did get a first down.
And again, that was the outside veer, which they've gone to a little bit more because they're really squeezing that inside part of the option. So they've kind of bounced it out a little bit more where they're getting the double teams on the edges.
He's going to keep it again and lose it. Fumble. And it's picked up by Prairie Ridge, I do believe.
Yep.
That's Ryan Goodshaw out there in the right place at the right time for the Wolves to keep this drive alive.
Well, he runs the outside veer again, and then he pulls it. They've been effective running it, and we'll watch the fake. And then he pulls it and tries to cut back against the grain, and that's where he loses it when he gets hit from the backside. But thank you. Johnny on the spot picks it up with a fumble recovery, keeps the drive alive. Now we're looking at about 3 yards for a first down and keep this clock going.
Dylan Appleton, the flyer who reached in there and punched it out. Lydon again. Down to the 9-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Wolves.
And the Wolves want this clock not to keep running, but they are running their offense very effectively. And again, that's just a good job of running the option and moving the chains. Now they're down to goal and goal. 1st and goal.
Lydon turns it over, and it's picked up by Tank Perkins. Perkins might take it all the way, and he will. 90 yards, Tank Perkins.
And he is pretty exhausted at this point.
Tank is gassed. Tank is gassed. 6'1", 240. An unfortunate turnover for Prairie Ridge. And he had a little traffic behind him, too.
Well, he's looking around, looking for help and saying, somebody please catch me or let the end zone get here closer and faster.
Look at him fall to the ground. Oh, hallelujah. Somebody bring out the oxygen tank for Tank.
Well, that's just a very unfortunate play for Prairie Ridge on that particular drive.
Yeah.
But obviously a pretty good play right there for East St. Louis. When you're good, you're good. And East St. Louis is a very good high school football team. But, you know, you have to give a lot of credit to Prairie Ridge. They came into the game a little undermanned, obviously, by some injuries. And then they had some injuries compounded during the game, but yet they stuck to the game. They kept their game plan, the patience. And we're in the ball game right up until that particular touchdown.
Macon takes it in for the point after. Make it 36-14. A turnover turns into 6. And then the 2-pointer makes it 8 for East St. Louis. As the big fella, Darren Perkins, takes it 90 yards after the fumble recovery. And number 1 East St. Louis is just 644 away from their.
We have the largest selection of Class A's and Class C's in the entire nation in one location. Like this, a brand new 2020 Newmar Ventana. It's an unreal motorhome. 4369 is the model, has a MSRP of $391,000. You need to see it, folks.
#1 in quality, like this 2020 Newmar Canyon Star.
37-foot long, gasoline-powered, the best, highest quality motorhome in the industry, and you need to see it today.
Shabana Creek RV, Atkinson, Illinois.
Your car is more than just transportation. It's a gathering place, your mobile community. At SEFCU, we get that. So we offer car loans with great rates, flexible terms, and no hidden fees. Ready for a new car? Ask about a SEFCU car loan and see how much you can save. Get started at sefcu.com/loans. SEFCU, not a bank, better.
(36-14), the lead for East St. Louis. And our LiUNA player of the game is Darren Perkins with that fumble recovery for a touchdown.
And he's off to the races, if you can use that term right here.
We use that term loosely.
And you see how he's bobbing and weaving down the field. So
you can see the rain has started up again as you look from our top camera. The rain blowing from east to west, right towards the press box. Prairie Ridge played a great first half, but things have gotten away from them here in the second and in the fourth quarter in particular.
Well, they did what they wanted to do. They just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. They controlled the ball. They kept it relatively close to the vest. And then they have the crucial fumble recovery and take it all the way for a touchdown. Because actually, if they had scored right there, they'd be back in the ball game. If they could have gotten a turnover, maybe even an onside kick, who knows? A little early for that, but still could have been.
Give up the middle that time. 9 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss for Darren Perkins in this ball game, along with that touchdown run, ramble.
Well, he's been very active, obviously, and throughout the ball game defensively.
Leiden keeps it and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. I guess they'll give him forward progress to the 35, so it'll be very close to a first down.
Well, what East St. Louis can do is they can man up on any wide receiver that East St. Louis or that Prairie Ridge will put out there, and then they just play 10 men in the box, and they don't move from there, and they just say, okay, we're going to stop the run, and they try and play really good, tough defense. Whoever is inside the tackles takes the dive men, and the outside perimeter guy take quarterback and pitch if they get out that far. They just man up on the top of the screen in the corner, and that's it.
Leiden back to throw, looking down the middle, threw it behind his intended receiver, and it's picked off by Dylan Appleton. He's still on his feet at the 35 and brought down there. Another turnover as East St. Louis pitching a shutout here in the second half.
Well, the ball was deflected. Anytime you throw it in the middle of the field, there's a possibility for that. Just watch the top of your screen how it's thrown behind him and deflected, and then just go with athleticism and people looking for the football and finding the ball. Pretty good return right here. And again, East St. Louis now has the football back again. You talk about a scoring machine, but in order for that machine to work, you got to have somebody that can force those turnovers, and that's what's happened so far for the defense for East St. Louis.
Dylan Appleton with the interception has received an offer from South Dakota State to continue his football career. .419 total yards of offense, 314 for Prairie Ridge. So Been a lot of offense in this game. Ooh. As Macon slips a tackle, there's a flag on the play. As Macon's forced out at the 5-yard line, there's a flag on the near side. And we'll see what the flag's all about.
He's been really productive for East St. Louis all year, but certainly today. But all he has been is, when you say productive, he's been very consistent all year long. And you expect that consistency when it comes down to the final game and the big game, and he has been there.
After first down, we got dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 76. That'll be a 15-yard penalty, first down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against East St. Louis, which is unfortunate when they're winning 36-14.
And you appreciate the officials for keeping the game under control with calls like that. In many cases, you might say, well, we didn't see anything physically, but in high school sports, the officials will be more tendent. They'll watch the mouth too. When you start, if you start jawing with people, things like that, they'll throw the flag, and justifiably so.
Give to Witherspoon. He's met at the line, actually behind the line, and a loss of a couple.
This is a counter. You'll see the guard and tackle pull. He gets in behind it, but a nice job of penetration, and the linebacker filling to kind of offset that play. Good job defensively right there by Prairie Ridge.
This Flyers program eliminated in the last 2 years in the quarterfinals by Mount Carmel, who's playing for a state championship coming up.
And somebody's being escorted off the field here, and I don't know if it's because of a possible injury, and I think that's what the case is.
Andrew Fryer, the 6'2" senior, coming off. This will be the 4th state championship for East St. Louis High School in the calendar year. They won the boys basketball title in March in Peoria, boys track, girls track, and now a state football championship just 4-17 away and counting. Macon on the keeper, down to the 21.
Now that was basically the same play as it was before for Witherspoon, the tailback, but this was a counter for the quarterback. So you can run. There's a lot of spread formation plays. People say, well, they're not the same running play. Yeah, they are for the most part, as if it was an I formation, only now you got the quarterback in the spread. You can run counter, you can run trap, you can run a lot of different plays out of it, but it gives you a better vantage point for throwing the football.
Macon with the pass complete to Antonio Johnson, down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line.
Good job of delivering the football right here. You see he's going to him all the time, and he throws sidearm, which is kind of interesting to me. Originally I thought when I first saw him do it that he was trying to get away from the rush, but he's continually done it, but he's very accurate with it. I think once he gets to the next level, they'll change that mechanic a little bit, because he's got to really come over a little more over the top, but he's very effective with it right now.
Here's the handoff to Witherspoon. He's stopped inside the 1. Yeah, over 3,900 yards throwing for Tyler Macon, even with the Kent Tekulve sidewinder style.
Just kind of a draw right there, and again, the guy coming up to make the tackle is Kyle Kolblinger.
Witherspoon takes it in for the touchdown. This East St. Louis team, they're built to score, and there's no stepping off the gas pedal here as they go in for another touchdown here for DeMonte Witherspoon. They get him his first touchdown of the game. The senior getting in the scorebooks, so that's good to see.
Well, when you're on the line of scrimmage, you got 1 yard to go, and you can get in behind a 294-pound offensive line. That kind of gives you an advantage.
False start, and they'll move back a little bit for the extra point.
False start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty. Redo the try.
Now this could be a challenge, maybe more so than some of their other offensive endeavors.
Demarion Cotton with the point after. It will be from 25 yards now.
Right down the middle.
Never a doubt. (43-14), East St. Louis headed for their 9th state championship on the IHSA TV network.
Not only is Country Financial our insurance, but they treated us like family.
Relationships are the single most important piece of the puzzle. We always ask this question: what is the right thing to do?
It's not just the ships, the armor, or the aircraft. It's something more. It's the will to fight and determination to win, found inside each and every Marine that answers a nation's call. Battles won.
Darn thing.
Yeah, thanks.
There's a look at the damage done by East St. Louis here in the second half, shutting out Prairie Ridge, and 29 unanswered points for the Flyers. And you said it early, the Flyers is their nickname, and that's what they do, and they really got airborne here in the second half.
Well, the second half was really what their reputation lived up to, that everybody had heard about all through the year, is what you saw here in the second half. You give credit to Prairie Ridge. They really played extremely well, really throughout the entire ball game, but there are just too many weapons for East St. Louis to get under control. You just can't game plan. You know, it's one thing to game plan for one or two players, but when you have a slew of them, it's pretty tough to do.
And we talked about a couple of their Division I signees. We never even got a chance to talk about Antonio Johnson, whose job was to take the top wide receiver out of the game as a defensive back. And you probably wouldn't hear much about him in a game that's dominated by a ground game, but he is signed with Texas A&M after getting looks from Georgia and LSU, Wisconsin, Illinois, among others. There's more Division I players to be signed off of this East St. Louis team. Leiden back to throw. Complete to Brown. He's knocked down by Lawan Powell after a gain of 8.
Kind of surprised we actually didn't get a flag on that one. This is starting to do a little taunting, which is not really very acceptable in this title game here.
Actually second and less than a yard now for Prairie Ridge. Koblinger bounces it outside, hurdles one defender and gets outside, out of bounds rather, at the 42-yard line. Pickup of 14 for Kyle Koblinger.
Just a great cutback after the dive, and you can see what a workhorse he is on both sides of the football. He has been absolutely outstanding today for Prairie Ridge, offensively and defensively. And here's a young man that had to fill a new position several weeks ago and just came in and been a team player and done a great job.
Picks up a couple there. On the other side, the East St. Louis players playing for more than just the guys in uniform. They had a sophomore linebacker, Jermaine Falcon, who died in March while working out in the weight room. And another player in the program, freshman Jalen McKenzie, was already getting college offers, died in May after being struck by a stray bullet. The Flyers wearing a helmet sticker today to honor their two fallen teammates. And Darren Sunkett saying all we want to do is keep playing for those guys, and we want to win it for them, and they're a minute 19 away from doing just that. And adding another state title to that great tradition that is East St. Louis football, begun by Bob Shannon and carried on here by Darren Sunkett. This will be number 9. Leiden back to throw. Looking for Brown, has him. Touchdown, Prairie Ridge. 34 yards, Connor Leiden to Blake Brown, his 10th touchdown catch of the year.
What a nice job in the play action fake here. Little fake in the dive, but then what's good about it and made this play was that he looked and the fake was to the left side and he came back to the throw to the right side. That threw off the secondary just temporarily. Watch the step to the left and then he comes back to the right side. Good delivery of a football under very, very treacherous conditions. Nice throw and nice catch by Prairie Ridge to up the score a little bit, make this game a little more competitive. And as you mentioned, Lee, for a team that doesn't throw the ball, they did a nice job today throwing the ball. They came into this ball game averaging 5 throws a game, which is a lot for them during the season, with 3 completions for 72 yards, but they've thrown that more in the first half. They threw more passes than they threw all year.
Connor Leiden with a couple of touchdown throws in this ball game. Prairie Ridge up close to 400 total yards on offense. So they've moved the ball up and down the field. Just it's hard to keep pace with the Flyers.
I wouldn't be surprised if they fake this just for something interesting.
Koblinger will kick it.
What doesn't he do?
And it's good. He does a little bit of everything, doesn't he?
Certainly, if there was an MVP and player of the game for the second place team, it would certainly be Kyle Koblinger. He just had a great game both offensively and defensively.
142 yards rushing. And remember, he came out of the game earlier in the game with an injury, but able to get himself back out on the field. He has a catch for 29 yards. He's kicked the extra points, 3 extra points.
How many carries did he have for those?
30 carries, 142 yards.
That's amazing.
Averaging just under 5 yards per carry. And just about all of those between the tackles.
And the other part of it is, you think about it, 30 carries, and this is an offense that really relies on those 30 carries. And then the other part of it is then he goes on defense. So the people that talk about, you know, platoon football and two-way players, they don't appreciate a guy like this. I mean, he's a special player. And I know I certainly appreciate him because I really think a lot about, you know, kids that go both ways and they're in great condition.
Well, look at that shot from up top. It looks like, remember the Fog Bowl game with the Bears? Was it the Bears and the Eagles years ago? It's about what that looks like. It's the kind of conditions here in DeKalb today, probably all across the state of Illinois.
And can you appreciate the man that's behind that camera?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Our camera people have done some great shots today.
Take the ball to the 5-yard. First down.
There's one of them.
One. Always love the shots from the end zone.
Some trying conditions. It was pretty rough, I understand, on setup day on Wednesday too. So thanks to our behind-the-scenes crew for all their hard work here on holiday week, so we can bring high school championship football to you. 2 more games coming up. 6A, or check that, 7A and 8A. Dave Bernhard, Mark Lindo ready to make the call for you. It's another storied program. Chicago Mount Carmel coming up. Here's with a little bit of this, yeah. Dad always said, carry a hanky.
That's considered dedication right there.
It looks much prettier now. Look at that.
Now they're fogged in at O'Hare. Thank you for all the hard work. And St. Louis will just take a knee here. It'll be the third, check that, the fourth state title at East St. Louis for Darren Sunkett. Number 9 overall. They call it the City of Champions for a reason. East St. Louis runs the table 14-0. They are the 6A state champions in the state of Illinois.
Very impressive East St. Louis team in the second half.
A lot of those young men will be playing college football on Saturdays for the next 4 years. 7 of the top 100 players in Illinois, according to 247sports.com, and the #1 team in the state, according to the scoreboard. East St. Louis, the 6A state champs. Back into Cal right after this.
Start your new year off with a new career with NECA IBEW. Earn as you learn as an apprentice in the electrical industry. NECA IBEW is now accepting applications from 9 to 4 on December 2nd through 7th. Each applicant will be interviewed prior to hire. As an electrical apprentice, you'll be highly paid, receive benefits, and get hands-on training in our 23,000 square foot training facility in Bartonville.
NECA IBEW has one of the best healthcare and pension plans in the industry. Your future starts here.
Apply now for this electrical apprenticeship.
At 25 News, we're digging deeper with award-winning journalism. And now, 25 News' Caitlin Canute has been recognized for exceptional journalism. Awarded an Emmy in the category of Outstanding Achievement for Specialty Report and Series with her special report, The Sound of Silence. Award-winning coverage. That's our commitment to the community, bringing you the best local coverage from the news team you know and trust. We're 25 News, and we're proud to be your home team. More than reporting, we're digging deeper, uncovering a rare and deadly brain cancer in central Illinois.
About how the cancer works.
Tracking the truth behind long-range forecasts.
228 years.
Revealing PTSD and the effects on first responders. Investigating emergency response protocols. That's journalism you can trust. We're 25 News, and we're digging deeper.
How's your checking account looking? Half full? Half empty? Low? It happens. Then payday rolls around and you're good. So why do banks charge a monthly fee if you don't keep a big minimum balance in your checking? At SEFCU, there's no minimum balance, no monthly fee. So you get everything you want. SEFCU, not a bank, better.
Back at Husky Stadium, Lee Hall, Jack McInerney, Dan Cohen, and Tony Cornish. And now it's time for the presentation of the awards. Let's go to Jeff Fritzen, our PA announcer.
On hand from the board of directors this evening, from Tinley Park Andrew, Robert Nolting, Tim McConnell from Erie, Amy McMahon from Petersburg Porta, and Katie Hassan of Taylor Ridge, Rock Ridge. Superintendent Steve Olson, Principal Dr. Stephen Cook, Athletic Director Mark Gilbert, Coach Chris Shrimp, and the captains of runner-up Prairie Ridge have joined the presenters on the field. A special medallion will be presented to the administrators, and individual awards will be presented to Coach Shrimp and his team captains. Now the second place trophy will be presented to the Wolves of Prairie Ridge, who finished the season with a final record of 12 wins and 2 losses. And now the superintendent Arthur Culver, Principal Justin Moore, Athletic Director and Head Coach Darren Sunkett, and the captains of East St. Louis are joining the presenters on the field. A special medallion will be presented to the administrators, and individual awards will be presented to Coach Sunkett and his team captain. And now this year's state championship Class 6A team trophy will be presented to the Flyers of East St. Louis, who finished the season with a final record of 14 wins and no losses.
Hard to argue with that. 14-0 for East St. Louis. A 43-21 win here, and the 9th state title for the Flyers in program history. Back with more from DeKalb.
I had a client run a red light, hit a minivan, even got the ticket. Minivan calls for medical bills and lost wages.
How did you deny the claim?
I used the old blame the victim trick. Thank you.
Blame the victim. I love it. What is it?
Minivan hired Strong Law. They know all my tricks.
But if they can get to you, they can get to
all of us.
Accident claim denied? Get Strong.
What does it take to be the best collision repair around? I'm Ryan Button with Morton Collision Repair. We have some of the fastest repair times in the area. We have all the latest training and equipment to get your car back on the road fast and like it was before. We're family owned and operated for over 18 years. Need an estimate now? Upload your photos and information at mortoncollision.com and we'll send you a free estimate. All makes, all models, all insurance companies. It's your car, it's your choice. Choose Morton Collision Repair.
When you're looking for a new or pre-owned travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome, call Pontiac RV before you buy. Pontiac RV is Illinois' largest RV dealer. Our volume buying power and lower overhead means you'll save on major manufacturers like Coachman, Keystone, Forest River, Tiffin Motorhomes, and more. With over 300 RVs in stock, see why people travel from all over the Midwest to Pontiac RV. Call or click PontiacRV.com.
Everything under the sun, Pontiac RV.
A great bank begins with great relationships. Great relationships with local businesses and everyday customers like Les and Jenny, who bought their new home with the help of Better Banks, and Rachel, who came to us when she wanted her first car, or the college fund that we helped Courtney and Zach set up for their future graduate. Banking is about relationships, and Better Banks knows that. Since 1898, we've been listening to our customers and committed to our community. Bank better with Better Banks.
A 9th state championship for the East St. Louis football program. Lee Hall, Jack McInerney with you, and let's go downstairs to Dan Cohen.
Guys, the rain is falling, but these guys don't really mind all that much. We're joined by head coach Darren Sunkett, DeMonte Witherspoon, and Tyler Macon. And DeMonte, just what are your emotions right now?
Man, I feel a sign of relief more than joy. Man, like all the hard work we put in is finally paying off, man. I just feel relieved.
And Coach, what was the difference in the second half? You guys really opened up the field when you came out of the locker room.
Well, we just went in and challenged our kids. You know, we knew we didn't play our best ball the first half. Like I told you, just had halftime. We gave up some plays we shouldn't have gave up on third down. And we just went and challenged every kid in there, you know, and we just had to come back and pull back together and realize what we was doing this for, you know, and we pulled together and everybody responded.
Tyler, just what has it been like working with this offense and leading it all season long? You guys have just been so effective from start to finish.
I trust all my brothers around me to get the job done, and they trust me. So we just put in the work day and night to be great how we are.
DeMonte, just for this senior class, what does it mean to go out on a note like this, knowing that you guys were able to end as state champions this year?
Man, this is the picture-perfect ending, man. Like, we dreamed of this, coming in and working. We've been working since December, talking about winning state, man. We finally did it. It just, man, I'm just happy for my guys, man, and my coach, man. Man, I'm just happy.
Coach, you said last week after the semifinals you had two angels watching you. To win this for Jalen and Jermaine's families, what does that mean?
Oh, it's big. You know, I tell you, I woke up this morning just overcome with emotions. And this team's been through a whole lot. You know, this team has persevered. We've seen death at our doorstep twice. And for these guys to do what they've done and continue to work their butts off, you know, it's just a blessing. You know, and God looked over us. You know, God has looked over us, our community's looked over us, and we just band together to pull this together. And all we can say is, J Money and Flats, we love them boys. They looking down here on us.
Tyler, to do this for East St. Louis and the fans that made the trip here, how great was it to have that much support behind you?
You know, our fans been traveling with us since week one, and just know that they got our back and we got that back on the field. It's just love everywhere. There's really a brotherhood and a community behind this football team.
State champs from East St. Louis. Back up to you guys.
Dan, thank you very much. His glasses look about as foggy as our camera there. Great work down there, Dan Cohen. We appreciate it. Congratulations to East St. Louis. Again, Tyler Macon, so efficient, 70% completion rate coming into the game, and he was 13 of 19 today for over 300 yards, 304 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A very impressive effort on both sides of the football. For East St. Louis, Jack. They were everything as advertised.
Well, they certainly were. I think what we really saw was the second half. We saw the East St. Louis that was advertised. We didn't. I don't want to say we didn't see that in the first half. I want to say that Prairie Ridge made sure we didn't see that. But in the second half, that you just can't control that many athletes on the field that can run and catch and do all the kind of things that East St. Louis did, and they just overwhelmed Prairie Ridge.
All right, well, we've seen some history today. An 8th state championship for Rochester, number 9 for East St. Louis. And it's a total of 12 for Mount Carmel, and they could be adding to that total here coming up in just a bit. Tony Cornish is coming your way in a little bit. We've got Mark Lindo and Dave Bernhardt with the call of the games coming up for you tonight. So don't go away. Stick with us for some rainy high school football. State championships in 7A and 8A still to be determined here in DeKalb. For my partner Jack McInerney, Lee Hall, so long from Husky Stadium.